Okay, there we go. Hey. Hey, guys. So, yeah, I wanted to update Bink since we did take him to the vet yesterday. So, it turns out he has a really bad bladder infection. And after the stream, actually, right around... I know I have to call before 2 o'clock, but afternoon. I have to call the vet to get the rest of his test done. But I wanted to thank you guys for everybody who helped, who donated, who shared and everything, because it really, really means a lot. I'm really bad at asking for help. I know it sounds bad, but I see a lot of other artists who, like, every time there's a mild inconvenience, they just, like, slap their coffee on screen. And I know it sounds really bad, but there have been times where, like, it's been really, really tight, and I'm like, oh, man, maybe I can ask for a little bit of help. And then I'll see someone who is, like, a good artist, but they're slapping their coffee again, and they're slapping their PayPal link again, and then I'm always like, nope, I'll just suffer. I don't want to be put into a group of the people that abuse the system, because there are a lot of people that genuinely it's an emergency and they do need the money, but there's also an equal amount of people who, like, don't want to do more work, and then they're just like, they just see numbers on a screen compared to, like, seeing people. And so with the whole Binks thing, he'd been sick for a while, but we weren't sure with what, and we thought we could do a lot of at-home treatments, and it wasn't working, and it was getting worse. And his litter box started to smell really, really, really bad. And just so you guys know, like, I clean out his litter box every day because we live in a small apartment. So, like, I don't let it sit. And it was even another friend of ours was over and even brought up, like, yo, what is wrong with your cat? Cats don't smell like that. And we were like, well, it's not him, it's his litter box. And then I was kind of like, see, Cody, other people are noticing it, like, something's wrong here. So, only part that sucks is at the start of the month is when our rent check comes through. So, like, we were really, really, really tight on money, but thanks to everything and thanks to all the support and everything, we were able to pay for, like, half. You guys were able to help pay for half the vet bill and the medication. So, in 2 weeks, when I go for his checkup, we can, like, afford it and still afford food and still afford our bills and everything. So it just helped a ton, and I'm internally grateful, which is why I was like, oh, I know, I'll also do a little, I'll do a little chill stream where we can hang out and talk and fun stuff, and you guys can ask me questions, and in, like, 15, 20-ish minutes, I know Morgan's gonna pop on, too, so y'all can talk to the ZodiacLord, too, so, yeah. But Banks is already, I shouldn't say already doing better, but since he got his medication for the bladder infection, he's already at least, like, walking around more. I was getting really, really concerned because, like, yesterday, well, not yesterday, we went to the vet. On, what day is it? It's Wednesday. On Monday, I'm sorry, my brain's all over the place. He did not leave his spot all day, and that's not like him at all. Like, he didn't get up and walk around, he didn't go to the bathroom, he didn't eat, he just laid in his little lay spot. And I was getting really concerned, and then, like, when I would go to the bathroom, he went, like, once, and then I saw him, like, once he was done, he took, like, a couple of, like, licks of water and a little bit of food, and I was really, really worried, and I'm like, this can't wait anymore, he's not eating right now, this is bad, so I'm hoping that the medication works and everything gets better. Any tips for making comics? Sadly, no, I don't make comics. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry, Cal Masson. But yeah, like today he's walking around. I mean, he's not happy with us. He's not happy that we took him to the vet. He doesn't like car rides, so. But he's, like I said, he's already doing a little bit better. And he definitely went to the bathroom. So that's also really good, because I was really concerned because yeah. Yeah, I have a cat. I have a cat named Binks. He's 2 years old. And I have a chinchilla named Al. Well, his nickname, his technical name is Alistair, but we always just call him Al. So yeah, those are my two boys. Oh my god! Hold on, I need to close my window. I guess it's like the time of day that they're doing freaking yard work. Oh, the joys of living in a complex right by a busy street. Where the hell did you find a chinchilla? Well, okay, so that's a funny story. So back in high school, at the end of high school, I've talked about this before, but my high school experience was shit. It was really, really bad. And so my senior year, I didn't even know if I was graduating. So like, I was working so hard that it was destroying me. But in that time to stay like sane, I would also like research random things I liked. And so I started doing a lot of research on chinchillas. And so I remember one day we were out and we were out with Cody's family before everything kind of hit the fan, still in high school, didn't know. Pretty much we were out at a PetSmart, and PetSmart or Petco, I literally can't remember which one, but they both sell them here. Keynote to this story, before I finish it, do not buy chinchillas or any exotic animal at a pet store. Don't do it. Go through a breeder. You might think you're saving money, but they abuse the fuck out of those chinchillas. They abuse the fuck out of them. They don't know how to take care of them. And it's not even entirely the employees' fault, because the employees aren't fucking trained to take care of the animals. I'll get into that in a minute. So I was super excited to see that the pet store had chinchillas. And I was super excited, but I noticed that it was like a single level cage. There was nowhere for them to jump around. There was no wheel. And there was no like water thingy. Because chinchillas can't get wet. So they can't have like a normal water dish. So I remember being like, hey, where's the like water thing? Where's the hay and the pellets? Where's the fact that they can jump around and run? And the poor employee that looked only a little older than me was like, what? I was like, for the chinchilla. It's like, oh, you want to see the chinchilla? Okay, we can let you play with the chinchilla. And I was like, well, no, I was asking questions. Yes, Binks, I'm here. Come here. You want to meow? You want to come here? That's right. See, that's a good boy. You should come in over here now. But yeah, so needless to say, I got to play with the chinchilla there. Cody's family saw. They knew how stressed out I was, and things were going like not so well for me at the time. But I really, really bonded with this chinchilla. And then, we put it back, didn't think much of it. And then it turns out that later on, Cody's parents bought me it. And they bought all the stuff for it to like a little chinchilla starter pack. And I loved her, and that was my chinchilla Cheshire. But she passed away last Christmas, sadly. But a big reason though why I say it was abused was they told me she was less than a year old when I got her, and I didn't know any better. She was not. She was very clearly not under a year old. She was very clearly older. Not only because females are bigger than males, but just her temperament was terrible. They never handled her right. They didn't know how to take care of her. So when I got her, it took her a long, long time to bond with me. And I remember being a little upset because like all the videos I watched, people are like, yeah, when you get them at the right age, they bond instantly and they're great pets and And I never had that with Cheshire. I had a close relationship with her and I loved her and she loved me, but she would not bond with anybody else. She would not go near Cody. She would bite Cody. She would piss on him. She hated him. Same to my parents, nothing. And then when I got Al because an old Facebook high school friend, like we were friends in high school and we only ever like stayed together on Facebook, just contacted me out of the blue about, let's see, I'd say almost 6 years ago. And she was like, hey, you like chinchillas, right? Because you kept talking about them in high school. And I was like, oh yeah, I like chinchillas. And she's like, well, my aunt's chinchilla got pregnant on accident and she's selling the rest. They're a perfect breed, so you're fine. But would you like one for a discount? And I was like, I had like, look at my finances at the time, because at the time I was still going to school. Like, I was going to college and I was working. But I was like, hell yeah! So drove up, we got Al, and Al was the proper age you're supposed to get a chinchilla. And he bonded instantly. He's very people friendly. He always would play with Cheshire. He would do all this and that. And that's when I started to realize more and more that when I looked up more and more of people buying chinchillas from the pet store, which, by the way, they're not cheap at pet stores. They're like over $100. A lot of parents get pissed off because they buy it thinking that it's going to be this lovey-dovey, great animal, and then it's because the animal's abused and they live a long time. And by abused, I mean they're neglected. They're not like beaten or anything. But how would you feel being locked in a cage all day with nothing to do, people staring at you, no water until the end of the day, and then you get to run around in a tiny little pen probably an hour before the store like closes, and then you get thrown back in? Like, you're not going to have a good time there. And so I'd seen a lot of other people talking about that, and so that's why I do want to get another chinchilla in the future. I really do, but it's probably not going to be until like next year, unless something happens, because I want to do it the right way, like I did with Al. Well, Al was an accident. I didn't plan on him. I want to go through that way because then they bond with you properly and they can be more people personable. Blah. So yeah, because the end of the day they got water, because if they left the water in the... Because with how the containers worked was they weren't like cages. They were like little glass cube things that you would look at. And they couldn't hook up the water bottles to it. At least all the PetSmart and Petco's I've seen, they're always in these like clear container things. Like, they're not in cages, so there's nowhere to hook a water bottle onto. And chinchillas can't get fucking wet because they'll get sick. And they'll get very sick if they get wet. So they literally gave them water at the end of the day. Or I've seen in other places that are even worse where they just have a little water dish. Like a water dish, like a cat or a dog. You can't have that with chinchillas because if they get water on their fur, they can get really, really, really sick. It's why they have to bathe in chinchilla dust. Not chinchilla sand. By the way, if anybody has a chinchilla, don't buy the sand. It's cheaper, but it's terrible for your chinchilla. You have to get the fucking dust. Like, just get the dust. Split in half with the ferrets. Yeah, see? Alright, thank you. No, thank you guys, thank you. Alright, let's see. Happy Pride. Have you gotten any tips for coming out to friends? I'm Pan and out to my parents, and I think it's time my friends knew. Okay, well, hey, if your parents already know and they're supportive, then that's already like a really big step. Usually your friends are like easier to come out to than your family. Oh yeah, also Happy Pride, everybody. Happy June. Totally forgot about that. Being an animal watcher, to care about the quality of life of your pets. Yeah, thank you, Maricat. I really do. I care about animals a lot. I don't like seeing animals suffer, and like that's something that like really gets under my skin, especially with pets. Like, I can't stand when I see people who... Well, let me... Wait. I'm going on a tangent. Let me finish the coming out advice thing first, and then I'll get on the pet peeve thing. So, as for coming out with your friends, something you might want to be careful for as Pan, I'm a bisexual. A big issue when I came out with my friends, like, the first person I was able to be comfortable coming out with was Cody. And then I got confidence to tell my parents, and then I told my friends. And a lot of my friends suddenly, like, changed how they acted around me once I, like, came out with who I was. They were like, oh, so you want to sleep with me? So you want to have a freaky three-way with Cody? Oh, is Cody making you be bisexual? It was a lot of shit I didn't want to, like, deal with back in high school. I also didn't have the best group of friends. But, just be prepared. Because there were a lot of people that I wasn't expecting to be like, oh my god, you're telling me this because you like me? Or, oh my god, you want to have sex with me? Or, oh my god, you want to, like, do a three-way thing with your boyfriend? I'm like, no. The fuck? No, I'm just like girls and like guys. And so and I kind of dated behind your guys' back, but it's fine. You know, it was fine. And then they were just like, they got over it eventually. But I did have a lot of friends that never like truly got over the whole like, well, if you're bisexual, that means you like me thing. And that like always sat really, really wrong with me. So be careful if that might happen. Like I wasn't fucking prepared for that, but yeah, stupid throat. Sorry, I'm getting all crusty in my voice. Let's see. I came out to my mom as lesbian, but she acts like it never happened and keeps saying, I'm going to get married to a man. What do I do? I don't know how old you are, and I know it sounds really bad saying that, but there's not much you can do until you can, like, afford to move out. And if you're... It's not a good environment, but if you're in a, like... Yeah, that's terrible, and that's not a good environment to be in. But if, like, you're still young, don't just jump into like living on your own to get away with that kind of stuff. Make sure you can afford it. Make sure if you move in with people, they can afford it. So again, I don't know your age, but obviously once you're out of that situation, you can date whoever the hell you want. You can do whatever the hell you want. And the only real way to like show them it's not a phase is to prove them wrong. Like, who knows? But then again, you know, sexuality and stuff is fluid. Like, I used to think a long time ago, I did used to think it was very, like, well, I mean, we are born this way. But it's like, you know, you're born this way, you're this thing, and this thing, and then, like, as I got older, I found out that there were people who, like, oh, is this done charging? Bitch, I want to just get a time. Oh, it is done charging. Sorry, I was charging my watch. God damn it, alarm! See, I'm already all over. I'm already all over the place. Stop. Okay. Sorry, that was my alarm and my watch being stupid. Okay. Okay, no problem. Alright, sorry about that. Actually, I should turn my other alarms off now that I think about it. Because I'm awake and I'm streaming here, so I don't need them anymore. Alarm. Okay, there we go. But yeah, there's not much you can do until then, pretty much. And, like, what I was talking about, like, being at, like, fluid is there's a lot of people I knew that were, like, super hardcore straight. They thought they were straight their whole lives. And then they met someone of the same sex, or, well, no, actually, none of my friends have, like, met and dated a trans person that I can think of. But yeah, what happens is, you know, it can change, it can alter, and it all just depends on, like, one of those, like, oh, was it always there? Was it here and there? But, yeah. Oh, okay, perfect. Oh, shit. Hello?
Hello?
Hello!
Hello.
Hold
Ignore
on.
me. I'm still eating chips, or I've eaten popcorn.
That's fine. I have to...
So.
Sexy. I have to change the thumbnail now.
Oh, man.
Chill stream. With...
Chill strong.
Fuck. I know how to spell. So, getting a couple pride questions, so... Other than that, I was talking about Chinchillas. But here, I will show you the thumbnail I made for us.
Yes, please, I want to say.
Yeah, it's on Discord. It's there.
Oh, it's adorable.
Fuck, I forgot your glasses. I knew I forgot something, and I'm like, wait a minute, what did I forget? Oh, it's your glasses. Whoops.
I mean, I'm not wearing glasses this second, so.
Oh, it works then.
Oh,
okay.
well.
Let's see.
We'll pretend it was planned.
Yeah, it was there. There we go. I just knew. I somehow knew. Okay. Let's see. I hate the argument bi is a phase, or either straight or gay. People don't believe you can like both and just switch between gender, dating, and different people. Okay, so actually, I'm not doing an actually here. I'm just saying I know people that were like, oh, maybe I like this thing. Maybe I'm attracted to this thing. And then they tried it and they realized they weren't.
Yeah, I mean,
so
what makes this kind of stuff really difficult, honestly, is that for some people, it's a phase. Yeah. And it's not like a phase as in like a stupid teenager phase. It's a phase where you're just trying to figure out who you are.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I always have to be careful when I say this because I don't want people to, like, you know, crucify me here. Like, when I was figuring myself out...
That's why you say it on my channel, where not as many people will see it.
But, like, when I was in high school figuring out my gender and all that, I had a phase where I thought I was, like, non-binary and all that stuff. That, for me, was a phase. Doesn't mean it is for other people, but it is for some people, they do go through phases where they explore different parts of yourself. So, like, there's just a lot of people who see those kinds of people and then think it applies to everybody when it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, there are people who go through phases where they think, like, well, maybe I'm bisexual, and then they realize they're not.
Yeah.
I had a friend who, what year was it? Like 2 years ago, I think. They originally thought they were a lesbian, but then they realized that, you know, I think I actually do kind of like guys. So, you know, it's a growth process.
Yeah, no, I had the same thing. I had a friend, not in high school, because I am older than the bean here. I had a friend who she thought that she was a hardcore, like, bisexual too. And then she, like, dated a girl for a while, and she really liked the girl. But she said, like, once it actually came to being, like, intimate sexually, because I gotta be careful with certain words I say on here. YouTube suck my non-existent dick. But, she was like, yeah, so I don't like girls after all. And I was like, oh, what happened? She's like, once it came down to us getting naked, I wasn't attracted anymore. And I was like, really? She's like, no, she was really beautiful and really cute. And she's just like, once it came down to, like, we gotta do stuff to each other that wasn't just kissing and hugging and stuff, she was like, I suddenly got, like, really, really uncomfortable and I didn't want to do it anymore. And then she dated a guy and she's like, I had my phase. And, like, so for some people, I do understand it, like, testing it out, because, you know, you should kind of test it out. It's why I feel like, and this sounds bad, but I feel like why in the news especially, you'll hear these cases of usually men, but not always, of, like, you know, these, like, oh, so-and-so was married for 30 years and has 3 kids and suddenly left his family to go be gay. And then it's like, well, it probably wasn't that he wanted to go be gay. He probably was, you know, very much gay or bisexual with heavy leanings, and then just finally realized that, like, that's what he wanted. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's because it was like, it was a big different time. Like, I knew that was huge. Yeah, I don't know if it's so much popular anymore, but, like, growing up, I remember hearing that, like, everywhere where that would happen.
Yeah, and it's like that's the thing about like sexuality and gender in general as well, and not just gender as in the words like transgender and all that, but just like gender expression as a whole.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
all of that is such a like it's so not stagnant, and there's so many people who treat it like it is, or like a certain label is like all it is.
Yeah.
And like when a lot of that stuff is really fluid for some people, you know? And I think people get so caught up in the labels that they don't realize, like, everything would be easier if we just, acted like people and had conversations and didn't just, like, slap labels on things and call it a day.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. I'm like I'm gonna be real. There are certain things in the LGBT community I personally don't believe in. I'm not gonna say what they are, but I know Morgan knows. We've talked about this and stuff. But like, just because I feel a certain way about it doesn't mean I'm gonna go out of my way going up to somebody who truly does believe this and be like, yeah, you're nuts. Because I don't think that. I think as long as you're a nice person and you're not an asshole to other people, then I'm gonna treat you with respect. Be nice to people, and others should be nice onto you. The world isn't always like that, but it's why, like, I've never understood people who, like, purposefully use the opposite gender pronouns. You know what I mean? Like, if the person's not an asshole and is like, hey, can you please use this? And then they're like, no. I've never understood that. Like, but, like, in the same sense... No, it's fine. But in the same sense, like, I've told the story before about the poor apparently non-binary person that, like, was screaming at this poor teenager working at a pizza joint that the teenager misgendered them. And then started screaming and hooting and hollering and talk to the manager and demand to get free pizza. And this poor kid quit his job because, like, this scary person just started screaming at him for a kid making a simple mistake that clearly was a mistake.
Stuff like that just taints the well for everyone.
Who's in the live stream with you? The ZodiacLord. my buddy, the Morgan. We're M&M'ing this up.
Sorry, now I'm responding to a note. I'm very professional here.
That's fine. It's whatever. It's a chill hangout stream again. This is the point.
Yeah. I'm getting a I'm getting a commission from like a really good artist, and I'm excited about it, but apparently my this PayPal message I sent them is on hold for 24 hours, so
that's weird.
Gotta wait for that. So they just said that, like, if it doesn't go through or something in 24 hours, they can refund it to me and we can try it again, but
okay.
I'm excited though, because it's gonna be good.
Ooh, I'm excited for you.
They got real good art, and I was like, there's a lot of different stuff I wanted, because they do a lot of good, like, creature stuff, like dragons and shit. But I also had, like, some people I wanted to give them, because they do, like, digital painting stuff that looks really nice.
Ooh.
So I was like, you know what? How about I just get, like, digital portrait, because their commissions are, like, on the pricier side.
You are commissioning them. I thought they were commissioning you.
Oh, no. I'm commissioning them.
Ah, okay.
Because they have good art. But so I was like, I haven't ever commissioned them before, so I'm like, okay, digital portrait painting, and I want you to do Hope, because Hope is a being.
Oh, that's gonna be adorable.
Because they do good creatures, so she's like a humanoid creature, so I'm like, this will be interesting.
Let's see. I don't mean to make you sound uncomfortable or weird, but I think you're pretty and your art is lovely. Thank you! I'm very happy about that. Thank you very much. That's very nice. What was another one? There was an art question. I know I saw it up all the Pride ones. Let's see. Hey, can you guys give me suggestions for drawing? Oh, just draw whatever you want. Let's see. Sorry, I'm really bad at those vague ones. Let's see. What do you think about gender fluid? I mean, my same opinion before. I mean, if you're a nice person, I don't care. I think the bottom line is I don't really care. That sounds like it's none of my business to care unless you're hurting other people. Then I care. Like that apparent non-binary person that screamed at a poor fucking teenager for making a mistake. That I care about. But like, as long as you're a nice person and don't hurt people and don't hurt people with your beliefs on every side of the argument, you do you, boo. As long as you're not hurting people, I don't care. Like, I know some people who are like on the religious side and they don't understand a lot of the newer LGBTQ plus stuff, but they've openly said, like, just because I don't understand it doesn't mean that, like, they don't deserve to be, like, a person. I just don't get it. And that's why I'm like, yeah, see, that's why you and I can get along, even though we have different beliefs. It's like, just don't hurt people. Is the bottom line. I hate to say
that's why. Oh, yeah, I was about to say.
No, go ahead.
No, it's like the same comment you're about to read.
Oh yeah, I hate to say it, but a lot of LGBT people are nice. Yeah. It's like when I tell people I don't like Caitlyn Jenner, they automatically assume I don't like trans people, and I'm like, no, I just think Caitlyn Jenner's a shitty mom. Like, it's got nothing to do with her gender. I just think she's a shitty person.
I mean, that's why I'm like, I hate to say it, but the reason why, I mean, partly this year, it's mostly just because I just got done with, like, Mermaid and all that. So I'm like, I'm just gonna chill for a while, work on portfolio stuff, do commissions, whatever. But, like, you know, because some people ask me in a live stream, like, are you gonna do stuff for Pride? And I'm like, I might draw a picture or two. I mean, on Patreon, I'm doing Pride-themed rewards, of course, because that's just, like, a given. But
cry! And I can't get one this month.
It's okay.
It's okay. But, I'm still salty I missed out on those merms. I was like, of course, I can't support that tier anymore right now. That shit happens. Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
So people were asking me, like, are you going to do something for Pride? And I was just like, you know, I might maybe do something, but, like, it sucks to say, but part of the reason why I don't get, like, super into Pride and why I don't do it is, like, well, it's for a few different reasons. I mean, for one thing, I understand why we do it. I'm happy for people who enjoy doing it. This kind of stuff is not really for me. Like, I don't really like, I don't know. It's just not something I get super into. I don't go, like, I've never been that person. I've never, like, I don't really buy Pride merch and all that sort of stuff. I don't, like, wear a transgender sticker around everywhere. And that's, like, nothing against people who do. It's just not my thing. I've just never really been someone who likes I guess you could say, likes the aesthetic of wearing their sexuality on their sleeve.
Yeah.
But the other reason why I don't usually do a lot of Pride stuff is because there's always so much controversy every year.
Yeah, like the fact there's a new lesbian flag. Like, nothing against it, but I was so confused. I'm like, wait, why is there a new flag?
There's, like, a new flag, or, like, a new version of a flag every year, which gets really confusing because then you draw something with a flag and people tell you you're wrong.
Yeah.
You know? Then, you know, you get, and then you get, like, the whole argument about, like, whether or not it's okay to include straight people in Pride. I personally do, because I just feel like we all deserve to love ourselves.
Yeah, I feel...
I don't have anything against people who don't, I just personally do.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, you can have... Not in, like, the straight Pride rally shit that was on Twitter, because that's just funny to me. Like, but, like, you know, if you're a LGBT kid and your parents support you, I think your parents should be able to go to Pride and be like, yeah, we support our kid, you know?
And, plus, like, then you have the whole argument, because it goes, like, you have the whole argument, like, does like, neglect, like, non-binary people, and then it's like, are asexual is valid? I'm like, why are we having these arguments now?
Yeah, like, why does it matter now?
Why can't we just enjoy our day? Like, please.
Yeah. Like, I want to do a couple of Pride pictures, but, like, I've been so burnt out my friends know this, but like I've actually had to take a hard break from my computer for the past 4 days because it's just been I'm in a hard place, and then all this stuff with Binks, it just wasn't helping. But yeah, it's almost like LGBT people are people, so you can have a very shitty LGBT person and a very normal straight person, and vice versa, because people are different and complex creatures.
I know, and it's like, I remember last year, because I made Pride Adopts last year.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
It was kind of fun. I can't remember if I actually sent, because someone recently finally got the last one that was there, which was the straight guy, ironically. Because it was someone in your server. It was, shoot, why can't I remember it right this second? I think it was Orr who got it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I can't remember exactly. Don't take my word on that. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember if I sent the file. But, you know, when I had those, though, when I had my gay and then I had my lesbian couples, I put them both in rainbows just because I personally like the rainbow flag for both.
I mean, growing up, that's what it was for me. For growing up, the rainbow flag was gay, as in, like, lesbian gay or gay. Like, that's just how I was, so...
Like, I have no problem if people use the lesbian flag, or if, like, lesbians want to be their own thing. That's totally okay with me.
Yeah, I agree.
Just personally, for those ad-ops, I was like, I want to use the rainbows because the rainbows are cute. And so I did. And I think I actually made 2 lesbians because the first pair I actually liked a lot, and I don't even know where I put those at this point.
Oh, right, yeah, I remember you kept them. You're like, I'm just going to redesign this. They were going to be
my chocolates, like my chocolate and vanilla girls, and then I was going to give them an adopted child who had, like, strawberry blonde hair.
That's
I don't remember where I put them. I don't remember where I put them.
Hey, they got turned into fucking Kai's children. That no one's gonna understand that reference at all.
I had like a whole idea for it because sometimes I get carried away and I make ideas. But anyway, but what I did that I had like some people comment like, why didn't you use the lesbian flag? And I'm like, because I like rainbows. Just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me have rainbows. And it's like, I don't know. That sort of stuff is like, it just gets so stressful where I'm like, I'm just gonna watch from afar. Like, it's okay.
All right, so we're going to get a little controversial here for a second, because I do have one very strong opinion I would like to say.
Yes.
So
I feel like I know what it's about to be.
I'm pretty sure you do. All right, so there is a controversy going on right now, because I think that's why the new lesbian flag exists. I think. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. But I know that a lot of people are like, you can't be a lesbian if you won't sleep with a trans person.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and to me, I'm like, it varies person to person. I have a gay friend who openly admits he's gay, and he's talked to me about it. He's like, I've dated a trans person, I really liked them, but once it got down to the big issue, he's like, I just couldn't do it. And I felt really bad, but the person understood. And then my friend got, like, ostracized from it, because they're like, well, then you're not a real gay man if you won't sleep with a trans person. And then I've seen it in the opposite sense, where they're like, you're not a real gay person if you do sleep with a trans person. And that's why I'm like, it depends on the person. Like, people seem to forget that you can have types. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, here we go, ready? As a trans person, I'm not offended if you don't want to sleep with me because I'm trans. Because we all have types. As far as I'm concerned, it's the same reason why a straight guy, for example, might not want to sleep with a very masculine, buff woman just because it's not his type.
Yeah.
You know, and for most people, sex is a part of the relationship. Yeah. And it's usually, for many people, it's an important part of a relationship. And so you shouldn't be required to go against your sexual preference just because you don't want to offend people or because you're not a quote unquote real blank person.
Yeah.
Insert sexuality here. Like, seriously, I hate that controversy so much because it's basically telling people, well, like, fuck your preferences. Like, it goes against what we're going for here, which is You shouldn't be forced to sleep with someone you don't want to.
Yeah, like, or sleep with someone you're not, like, obviously if you're asexual, this is kind of different, but someone you're not sexually attracted to, it shouldn't change who you are. It's just sometimes you're not sexually attracted to people.
Yeah, like, you can be friends with somebody and not be sexually attracted with them.
Yes.
You know, like, just because I don't want to sleep with Michelle, for example, doesn't mean I don't like her and doesn't mean I don't like women. Like, that's just simple.
But Morgan, don't you remember? Women can't have male friends. That's just how it is. You know, they always want something. You can never just be friends with a guy.
I know, of course. And it's just like, it's so, like, that whole, like, debate, whenever that started and I heard about it, I immediately went, like, what the hell are people talking about?
That's how I felt. I'm like, wait, why is this a conversation? Like,
it's like, I don't know why, but I feel like it would be obvious that just saying that you don't want to sleep with a trans person shouldn't be a like, damning statement.
Bree, so welcoming today.
Hello, Pasta.
How you doing, Bree?
But
yeah.
God, I just, like, because it drives me crazy. I mean, like, we all have preferences, and some people are more specific than others.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, I'm someone where my preferences, at least right now, if I probably actually started dating at some point, it might change. But, like, right now, what I find attractive is pretty broad.
Are you saying that you are a spectrum?
Apparently. But, like, I mean, that's why I've never, like, I say that I'm pan, but at the same time, I don't really care if someone called me bi or whatever, because it's like, I don't know, I just like people, and that's just how I'm gonna leave it, and I don't really care what the label is.
I like the people, and I don't care what's going on downstairs.
But, like, you know, and again, if I were to actually start dating, I might find out that it is different. But, like, as of right now, just based on people I've found attractive, that's how I feel. But, you know, it's the same reason why, like, I, for example, would not personally want to sleep with, like, a bodybuilder, because I'm not really into that.
You know, I've never been into that. Like, I've always said, like, really muscly, buff tone people freak me out. Not in a mean way, but, like, I'm a huggy, squishy person, and I like hugging and squishy people. And so,
yeah, and like, that doesn't mean I hate bodybuilders.
Yeah, exactly. I just, personally, I don't want to sleep with one.
Yeah, and, like, I mean, same thing, like, oh, yeah, someone just put something here. We're gonna just go all in for the controversy here.
All right.
I was called racist for not finding Hispanics attractive enough, even though I am Hispanic. I'm sorry, I have a type.
I've heard that too! Yeah, I've totally heard that. Like, I had someone call me racist because my only girlfriend I ever had was a black girl. But I'm like, why did it didn't matter that that's what her skin color was. That's just who I dated.
Yeah, and it's just, like, it's normal to just be attracted to things. Like, I, for example, that doesn't mean, this doesn't mean I don't find, like, other white people attractive, but, like, I, for example...
This is a great start already.
I know, I love it. I find people with, like, darker skin, and then sometimes, like, I find people with darker skin oftentimes, like, very attractive, and I also just... I don't know why, but I find, like, darker skinned people with, like, lighter colored hair pretty. Like,
I'll agree with that. Also,
not
for me,
just from, like, an aesthetic visual thing. Doesn't mean that I don't like other people like that or that I'm racist because of that. It just means I don't know why my heart finds that attractive for some reason.
Freckles.
That's just how I go. Yes.
Freckles on anybody. I love heavily freckled people. I think they are the most beautiful people ever.
Shoot. I really like kinky hair. Like the
kinky hair is really cute too. Yeah,
I know. I love, like, I also, and part of this might just be because maybe I haven't seen a lot of it. So, like, when I do see someone, they just stand out more to me. Mm-hmm. But, like, I know there was someone at school or whatever. Never spoke to her in my life. She wasn't. I don't know. I think she might have been, like. I'm not making any claims here. I think she might have been mixed race because she had, like, lighter skin and, like, lighter hair. Mm-hmm. But her hair was really frizzy and, like, kinky.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know what it was, but, like, she always stood out to me, and she had, like, really pretty hair. And it was, like, I don't know why. It's just that stuff's interesting to me. And I don't think it's wrong. I think it's wrong to, like, you know, because you're not discriminating against someone if you just happen to find a certain race generally more attractive than another, you know?
Yeah, it's just
It is if you start applying stereotypes to it. But
yeah. If you start like turning it into a stereotypical thing, then we got issues. But if it's just,
I remember this slightly sidetracked, but it's related. There was like a post I remember seeing because like, you know, all the Reddit breeding posts are getting more popular on YouTube. And there's a thing I remember where it was like a dating app or whatever, and this lady approaches this black guy, and she's just like, "Oh wow, like you're so like you're black, but you're so not ghetto. That's so like
I've seen that. Oh my god, I've seen that in person.
That's racist.
That's so racist. I've seen that in person too. I've seen that in person where I remember like I was walking around a mall and I heard someone talking to like a group of darker skinned people. I live in California. Everybody's fucking everybody, so you don't know who's who anymore. But I remember, like, fuck, this lady said something along the lines of, like, oh, you're better than those other people. And it's like, the fuck does that mean, bitch? Like...
Yeah, like, it's just
like,
so...
What?
But yeah, it's like, at the end of the day, though, if you just, like, happen to find a certain race more attractive, that's, like, fine. In fact, like, I mean, what's actually kind of funny, too, is that normally we as a species... Not everybody, because obviously, based on this conversation, you can tell it's not everybody.
Yeah.
But, like, at least half of the population generally are more attractive to people that remind them of themselves, like, physically.
Uh-huh.
So that's why typically, even though America does have a wide, diverse range of people, that's why you'll still see people who seem to date within their same race or ethnicity.
Yeah.
Like, just because... either it's an attraction thing or it's just it's a choice or whatever it is, and that's fine. Like, you know, and like, again, like I've always, for some reason, and I was so confused about it for a long time, because when I was in middle school, because I tend to find like Asian people, as in like the Chinese, Japanese, Korean kind of people, I tend to find them very pretty and attractive. Like, especially, like I like the eyes a lot and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I remember there was, like, you know, I've told you this story before, but for anyone who hasn't heard it, there was a girl in middle school who was Asian, and listen, when you're gonna be I can call her Asian because, like, in middle school there was, like, a whole cult of all the Asian kids being like, we're the Asian kids. Like,
wait, you can't...
That was what they did.
You can't say Asian kids? Like, what?
No, I was just saying, like, I'm just saying because I knew it sounded a little bit bad.
Okay. I was sorry. Keep going. Okay.
He was in that group or whatever. I'm just saying it because it makes this story even kind of weirder in hindsight. But, like, she, like, and I just told her one day, because I just thought, like, I didn't think anything of it. I just told her, like, hey, your eyes are really pretty. And she got so upset. She was just like, how dare you? And I'm like, what did I do? Like... I just think your eyes are pretty. But, like, she was acting as if I'd said something, like, super racist, and I was so confused.
You never know. Maybe, like, that's something that could have happened or something. But yeah, I shouldn't say I've had similar things, but, like, my mom's even said, like, Michelle, you don't really have a type to you. Because I haven't dated a lot, but I have dated, let me think, almost every race. Like, my first serious boyfriend was Japanese Asian, because, funny story with him. Alright, so, we knew each other in middle school, but his mother grew up in rural Japan, and his dad grew up in the city of China, and they both met in Ohio for college, and then got married in New York and then had him. So he is perfect, half Japanese, half Chinese, and he was my first real boyfriend. Then I kind of dated, I think he was a white guy. I never, like, asked. Again, I think he was white or probably mixed. I know I was rare for having, like, 2 white parents. Like, yeah. Everybody growing up was like, so, wait, which one's the other one? Oh my, I think they're both white. I don't know. Then I had my girlfriend, and then I had Cody. And, like, a lot of people... Doesn't help that he's really, really pale, but a lot of people are like, oh, so Cody's a white guy. I'm like, no, he's Mexican. He's just really, really, really white.
I mean, that's just how it is too, and it's kind of funny because technically the original Spanish people were white.
Yeah, because that's the difference between the Spaniards and Mexicans.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's just like, honestly, it wouldn't, like, again, like somebody even said it, like, fun fact, humans cannot control who they're attracted to. It's not their fault.
Or like, okay, something funny that like I had to explain to like one of my parents was because they just didn't understand it, and because my mom was like, wait, how can, like, if you were born in Japan, you're Japanese, that's kind of how it works, like how if you're born here you're American.
Yeah, it's so it gets a little confusing.
So yeah, my mom was like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, so like there can be non-Japanese people that are Japanese.
I know, like it's makes things more complicated because we've made race become such a big deal in our life.
Right, when it shouldn't matter.
I know, we wouldn't be having like such complicated issues like this if we just treated each other as people.
Yeah.
Help. Oh goodness.
Let's see. Yeah, okay, people can't control.
We need to get off like controversial topics.
I know. We already started. So you guys have any other questions? Anything you want to ask?
I will say while we're waiting for them to come in, just because I was reminded of this when I was looking at a comment earlier. Because I obviously I posted that concept art stuff in a status post, and I was asking people to share their opinions, and like not at all upset that people are sharing their opinions. I find it interesting to listen to, but I do find it kind of interesting that like everyone, like a good chunk of people are saying I like 5 the best, and that's the one I can't go with.
Why? Hold on, wait.
Because
I have to go back and look up. Hold on.
I know it's a little bit in a weird order, I know, but like it's the one that's supposed to that I did where I'm like I'm gonna make this one look a little feminine.
Let's see. Oh, that one.
Yeah, because I mean, I like it, and I might take some like clothing things from it. I also like I'm considering the robot arm as well because I think it's kind of interesting.
I think you should go with the robot arm just so Jay isn't alone.
Well, he isn't anymore, but anyway.
Well, you know what I mean. Just don't spoil it.
There's another character I made who has a robot arm in there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, anyway, so, but it's funny that everyone's picking her because the reason I can't go with, like, her general shape is because while I don't know what Emma's gonna end up looking like, Emma's gonna look a lot more feminine. and I need the contrasts.
Yeah, let's see.
I am so torn, though, because I kind of figured out what I think I'm gonna go with for, like, the body, and I'm gonna play around with the clothes a little bit. But I am so torn between 2 and 4's hair because both of them look cool, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to do like a separate thing just to play around with that because I have no idea which one I want to go with.
Hold on, I have to scroll.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Okay, you know what? I think you should go with 2 because you don't really have a lot of characters with that hairstyle.
That's true.
So that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, I might play around with it because what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play around with like both of them separately, maybe an alter version of like style for both those kinds of hair, and then I'm gonna like try and combine them and see like if something like that would look better.
Well, that could be good, yeah.
But I'm gonna play around with it, and I'm probably gonna make another post about it once I figure out the outfit and the face that I want. And also I gotta decide whether or not I'm gonna commit to the prosthetic legs, because those could be interesting. They could be real interesting.
Weapon legs!
Well, like, because I've seen the prosthetic legs that are, like, made for runners. And they're really interesting, and I'm like, that could be a cool little thing, and she lives in such a rough and tough world, it wouldn't make sense. Or it would make sense for that to be a thing. So I'm like, I'm sitting here like, am I gonna do that? And now I gotta see if I want to do like that and a robot arm, or if that would be too much.
See, that's why, like, cause like, I can't say who, but like, a couple of my characters end up losing limbs in my story, and it's like, I love the reason for it, but I can't draw it because it's a huge ass spoiler, and then people are gonna be like, wait, why is so-and-so missing an arm? Why is so-and-so suddenly not have a leg? Like, what? And I mean, you know a character that kind of loses two things, so... Like,
wink wonk.
So, yeah, it's just interesting. I think that'd be a good idea, though, going with the runner legs thing. Tips for drawing hair. So, what I did, because I'm still not the best, when I'm doing studies, I'll, like, look up photos of hairstyles I'll like, and I'll trace the shape around the hair, so I can, like, kind of get a basic idea of, like, the basic shape, and then I just add stuff to it. That's me. Like, that's how I do it, at least. How about you for tips on drawing hair?
Well, I mean, because I get asked a lot how I draw hair specifically, too.
Well, you have very stylized hair.
Yeah. But I, because generally, like, that's what I'll do as well, is figure out, like, the general shape. Something that I like to think about a lot, because, it's just, it's just one of those things that's a little bit of a pet peeve for me. It doesn't bother me that much, but, like, I've always, like, it kind of bugs me when hair looks like it's just coming from nowhere. And, like, all that. So usually what I'll try and figure out is, like,
you mean, like, where it doesn't have a part?
Well, no, like, yeah, but, the hair that just doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Anime hair, what I mean.
Yeah.
But, like, I like, what I'll typically do is I'll figure out a shape, but I'll also figure out, like, where the roots are and where it actually starts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I have been trying to get play around more with doing, like, kinkier hair, because I used to have a certain way I stylized it, but I've noticed that a lot of people, like, it doesn't come off that way to them, which is why I'm trying to make it more obvious now.
Yeah, I've been having that issue too, because, like, Yeah,
well, because, like, technically Bella's supposed to have kinkier hair. I just stylize it to make it look poofy.
Yeah,
I noticed that it doesn't come off that way, so I can't, like, I'm just too committed to her design now. I can't change her hair that much. But, like,
it's because
that's why now when I'm trying to make it more obvious.
It's because she's Poofy Princess Peach.
I love her so much.
Yeah. It sounds bad. I had to remember that this is a Crackland thing, so people aren't gonna understand this. But I had to remember that Ada has the poofy kinky hair like his mom does, and I'm like, oh yeah, he does have that.
Yeah,
I totally forgot, because I knew that East has it, because East just has, like, full afro going on all the time.
Yeah, like, even so, just because of Axis, hers is a little bit straighter.
Yeah,
like, so that's why hers is a bit more down, and her mother's is a bit more out.
Yeah,
but that's why she has to, like, pull it down.
Yeah,
but because I was thinking about that for, like, for Ada, definitely. I'm like, he does have the short kind of, like, fro hair going on. Like, right. There you go. See, there's nothing to worry about.
Oh my god, I just realized. Even better. What? You can have, because East is older now, you can have her having more weird dragon shenanigans.
Hell yeah. I cannot wait for the day that someone comes to her like, hello, princess, I've brought you some flowers, and she just eats them.
Yeah, and then I could totally see, like, Axis and Bella having to keep a straight face, but, like, East, stop eating the flowers.
Oh, good. Sorry, I'm, like, thinking about this now, but, like, now I'm looking at the pictures again, and I'm thinking maybe I could do, like, robot arm and then one prosthetic leg. So
maybe,
it's, like,
yeah, maybe do that instead of doing both legs. That's a good idea.
Yeah, because then I could do that, and that'd be interesting. Because, I mean, the fact that for her having it is supposed to make sense. I mean, she has a flipping cyborg cat, so, like, that's the world we're living in here. But, yeah, so I'm playing around with that. I'm just thinking about it. Anything's an improvement from the old design that was, like, super mega anime. With long dyed hair and all that shit.
At least it's dyed, okay?
Well, it's like, I kid you not. There was a line I had, like, obviously I didn't have this, like, written down for sure, but this was always a line I imagined, like, part of the story would be opened up with. Mm-hmm. Where it's, like, at some point, because originally her whole thing was that she had a sword that she could light on fire, and that's why she has her name.
Okay.
But I decided against that, and now I'm going to go with it being more symbolic. But, like, she had a stupid line that was, like, it's just like, I got my nickname before I dyed my hair, something like that.
Ooh. Oh, that's so bad. That's edgy.
I know.
Like,
it's gonna be much of an improvement.
Let's see. What was I gonna say? I know we had one earlier. A person asked twice, and I felt bad about. But they were like, we could be. No, it's okay. It wasn't really an art question, but they asked it twice, and so it's like I did see it. We were just talking, but it was like if we could have any elemental power, and they said something like even weird ones, what would it be?
Oh God. See, I don't know, because you always want to go for something that sounds cool, but then at the same time then you sit there and think about it, and you're like, oh no.
I mean, yeah, especially because like I've done a lot of research on elemental magic and stuff, and that's why I'm like, there's a lot of pros and cons to each. Like, there's no like quintessential.
It's such a broad question. I'm not really sure. So like, even think about like if you honestly think about flight, it's like. You'd have to have so much other stuff to be able to actually fly high like everyone dreams about.
Oh, yeah. And that's why, like, at least with my story, for a mage to, like, fly, like how Ringmaster does it, takes a lot of concentration, and he's also an asshole. And so it's like, technically he also cheats, but, like, a lot of other ones are like, I can, like, hover a few feet off the ground. I can, like, get out of the way, but I can't, like, fucking superhero Noom. Some can, but not most.
Then you have me where I'm like, I'm gonna be a rebel and have my mages walk on air.
That is really unique, though. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely something I'm probably gonna use somewhere else as well. Because it's a fun idea.
It is, it's a great idea. Let's see, any advice for getting into new habits, like drinking X amount of water every day? Okay, so this is a good one for me because I used to be terrible. Buy one of the gigantic water bottles with the ticks on it. Like, there's little, like, tick marks. You can find them at Walmart, Target, anywhere. Not sponsored. I had to buy one because I used to think I drank a lot of water in a day, and I didn't. You buy one of those things, it's usually a 64 ounce, and then they'll have ticks, so it'll be like, okay, by X amount, drink this much water, and and that way you'll know how much you have left to drink to be healthy. Because you also need to drink your water throughout the day, than just like, I'ma chug it! Because then you're just gonna piss it all out. Because I know a lot of people who do that, who, like, they drink a lot of water, and then they're like, I wonder why I go to the bathroom all the time. Like, it's because you're peeing it all out. Your body's not retaining it. And then you have weirdos like this guy who doesn't drink water. Let's see. But pretty much, I know how to
get... element of surprise. Sorry, I just saw that.
Fuck.
Because it was in response to the power question.
What's the craziest thing you've seen someone do at school? Okay, I have to go with the second one, because the first one's, like, not a fun story, and I'm not really comfortable talking about it, but when I was in summer school, we had this foreign exchange student, and this was in high school, by the way, and I had to show her, like, where the bathrooms were. And so I was going to the bathrooms in summer school with her, and a guy just came out of the bathroom with the most weirdest look, like, the most shocked, not traumatized, but just like, what the fuck? Look on his face. And I was like, hey, what's up? And he's like, there's a trash can on fire in there. And so then the foreign exchange girl was like, what? And so we went to the guy's bathroom, and there was just a trash can. It was ablaze, like full on. And we were like, shouldn't, like, a fire alarm be going off or something?
The demon summoning.
And then we got a teacher, and the teacher's like, okay, don't tell anyone. We're gonna get the fire department here. And we're like, wait, but shouldn't we, like, be pulling a fire alarm? Isn't that, like, what we were taught to do?
Don't tell anyone.
No, it's true. And the teacher wouldn't let me, the foreign girl, or the weird guy, like, leave. And they checked the guy. He didn't do it. I guess while he was in the bathroom, someone else just came in and lit the trash can on fire. And so...
as one does.
And so, yeah, the fire department, the fire truck, like, drove into my campus because we have an open school. And there was just a fire truck. And, like, I remember being like, I don't hear it. No one's coming out to look at it. Like, they are full on hiding this. And the fire department came out. They spritzed the frickin' trash can. They gave me, the other girl, and the guy, like, a sticker for being a good noodle. And then they were like, okay, don't tell anybody else. We don't want them to panic. but here's your slip so you don't get in trouble when you go back to class. Have a good day. And then we went back to class, and it was like, okay. And that was the weirdest experience I'd ever had. Like, it to this day was still... And we never found out who lit the trash can on fire. Just a mystery.
I don't know if I really have a lot of weird stories, because, like, I don't know, my life is pretty boring, so, like...
Just wait, you're going off to college.
I got, like... I don't know, unless I land a job over the... which would be rad, but, you know.
Oh, right, I forgot you're applying for...
I'm trying.
For the work.
I mean, there's apparently a website that my teacher gave me that updates, like, daily, and it has, like, job opportunities in Texas for film and stuff like that. And there's a lot. And I knew it, like, when I was coming back, I'm like, I need to look at that because I have a feeling there's a lot of stuff for, like, games in, like, Texas.
Really?
Like, there's a lot of game companies and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm just keeping my eye out, and I've committed because I realized I've gotten a little bit stressed out about it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have, on June 11th, we're going to go see one of my favorite shows that I've ever seen, and I finally get to see it with my family like I wanted to. And then so I'm like, you know what? I'll in that time, I'm going to work on my portfolio, and then when I get back, then I'm going to start, like, really hunkering down and trying to send it to places and shit.
Cool.
Because what I'm trying to keep my eye out for is people looking for character designers or character artists, and then, like, concept art kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to look for, I forget the proper terminology, but the ones where you can work from home? Because you are still going to that school thing, right?
Well, unless I get a really good job, I might just skip it because I don't need to go.
That's
like,
true.
Because the thing about, like, this sort of career path is that the only reason people go to school
is to network.
Yeah, is to network or get their portfolio pieces done with, like, using the school's resources, which is also why, like, I'm not going to a big university, because not only does that mean I'm committed for 4 years, but, like, then I'm going to have to worry about, like, 4 other classes that do not matter for what I'm trying to do.
That is something that's always bothered me about college, is the whole like, oh yeah, your first 2 years are throwaway years. Like,
yeah, like, and that's why I'm that's why I'm applied. So if I do go to school, I'm going to one that is more of a technical school, so I can get the networking and I can like have you know, a place to go, but I'm not going to be committed to do math and science and all that stuff too. But, like, I do want to try and get a job over the summer, because I would love to just skip school altogether.
Yeah.
And, like, just start making money now and living my life, because I feel like I can do it if I just find the right people.
Yeah, no, I agree, because you are very talented, but in the creative sense, because you've worked very hard to get your skills to where you are. Like, that's something like I want to do a whole video on when I can, like, get my thoughts right. But I do think, because I know we've talked about this, I do think that having a creative mind is a talent, but overall art skill is a skill that you have to learn and practice over time.
Yeah, and, like, I even, because when I went and did my portfolio review at the place, which was very, very helpful, I mean, because they gave me, like, good advice of stuff to add and stuff to work on. I think the biggest things I got was mostly, like, for a character artist to have more, like, rough design phases, which is why I'm doing this thing now with Phoenix and Emma and all that. Which Emma might get a new name, possibly, because I've been thinking about that. But anyway, so, like, that's something I want to work on. They've encouraged me to do, like, more creature stuff and more animal stuff, because a lot of companies do look for people who can do creatures, and so I'm going to work on that. I'm going to try and do more concept art that's more environmental, just so I can have that. But yeah, so I'm looking around at that, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. Plus, I wanted to get more stuff in there that was less cartoony. And
no, that does make sense, because, like, one huge thing that I really wish art schools and just art teachers in general would talk about. Because when I was taking art classes, we weren't allowed, like, back in my day, which wasn't that fucking long ago, we were told, like, unless you wanted to work at Disney, you could not make a job doing what I do now. It was impossible. Because, like, unless you wanted to be an animator, that wasn't a thing. You had to learn which you do have to learn realism to break anatomy, but like all of our portfolios and all of us, because I took an AP art class, and like, you know, to apply for schools, they're like, yeah, you need all of this stuff, and then it's like, but then you hear industries being like, no, your portfolio needs to be what you want to do. Because if all you have is realism and backgrounds, they're gonna hire you for realism and backgrounds.
We had a speaker, of course. We had like a keynote speaker at the very end of our thing, and it was the person who it's a woman who storyboards for Pixar, and she's the one who made that one short on YouTube, Pearl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was so worried because I'm like, oh, it's been such a long day. Please don't be boring, because we had other speakers before for a panel, and it was kind of useless because they were more recruiting for their schools, you know?
Yeah.
And like, as if I didn't want to go to Cal Arts, as if I couldn't want to not go to Cal Arts even less. The lady speaking for Cal Arts was really annoying, but like, it's okay though. It's fine. She just like, I didn't like her voice. She sounded like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just kind of one of those voices where she sounded like she kind of just kept going on and on and on. And it just like, I don't know. It just was like everything I didn't want out of Cal Arts. But anyway.
Well, go ahead.
Like, but whenever this lady went up to talk, I was so worried because I'm like, please don't be boring. Please don't be like the same stuff I've heard. But she was like, it was really entertaining because she was going over like how she got her job at Pixar and her story. And she did it with like, because she's a storyboard artist, so she did it with a bunch of little sketches and stuff of her and her life. Yeah, she sounded like one of those peppy she did. She sounded like a peppy mom. Anyway, so but this lady, she like I don't know why I've forgotten her name, but she was like really funny and really charismatic, and so it was actually very entertaining to listen to. But she talked about how like for years she would send her portfolio in to Pixar, and this was when like she had to send it by mail, you know.
I forgot you had to send it by mail, but back in the day, yeah.
So she'd FedEx it like all the time at 3 a.m, and they'd always send an email back saying like, sorry, like we looked and we're good, yeah, like try again later, you know. And so eventually though, because her dream job was of course working at Pixar, and so she went on and she started working at other companies and all that stuff, and doing all that and enjoying what she was doing. And eventually she's like, and she couldn't figure out the reason why, like, they didn't accept her for Pixar and all that. But then she started like traveling the world and like fell in love and all that stuff. And when she finally got back, she got an email from Pixar saying, hey, we'd love you to send in a portfolio. And she was like, oh my God, this is my chance. But then she looks and she's like, I have nothing. Because like all of her actual current work, she couldn't release because she's under a contract, you know? And also the only other thing she had was that she had this webcomic she was doing online, which was just like little panels of her making jokes about her life and all that stuff. And it's like, that's all she had. So she sent that in because that's all she had. And she's like, better than nothing, I guess. And they gave her a job because from what she said, it was because like she was obviously enjoying life and having her own experience and all that, which also, you know, it also could be the fact that they didn't really necessarily need a portfolio to hire her. They just wanted to make sure she was interested. But that's besides the point, because they clearly know her work if they've like asking for her for portfolio. That's besides the point. But so like you definitely gotta enjoy what you're doing, and that's why like I'm trying. And also again, like part of the reason why I want to get a lot of different kinds of variation of what I can do is because I feel like I can make characters that are really gritty and like video game-esque characters that are like, you know what I mean in terms of that kind of video game.
No, I know what you mean.
That are more like realistic. And then I want to do like, look at all these cartoony characters I can do and all that stuff.
Okay, can you keep going? I just really have to go to the bathroom real quick. So,
go to the bathroom. It's
I will
fine.
be right back. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Didn't mean to derail you there. Go!
So, that's what I'm working on right now. But anyway, so I mean, hey, if anybody out there knows any decently reputable company and you want to give me a good word, I can give you my portfolio for you to send. But yeah, so I'm looking at that, and I'm probably gonna try and go down the game company route because I would love to stay in Texas. I like Texas a lot more than California, and there are a lot of game companies in Austin. So I'm probably gonna see if I can try to get a job or maybe at least an internship somewhere in Austin for a game company, possibly. But yeah, so I'm gonna like try and do that once I get more like better stuff in my portfolio and all that. And hopefully someone will pick me up. There were a few that I looked at where I was just like, like one of them, their webpage didn't even load. So I'm like, yeah, maybe not pursue that one as much because I don't know about what I feel about that. But so yeah, it's a time, and I'd love to skip school because school makes me nervous, and I'd feel a lot less nervous if I could just dive right in to get a job. Because I mean, not that this is the kind of school where I think I'm okay with, and I think I could make good connections there. Everybody who teaches at that school have worked like in the industry. But I want to be optimistic, and I still want to try to get something good, even if I have to do like, at the very least, some of these places they ask for like contract work, which would mean that you're not working for them, but you're under a contract. They pay you. You give them. It's basically a commission, kind of thing. And that'd be cool too, because that means that's portfolio stuff I can do. That's like stuff to put on a resume, all that stuff. Skip school if you can. Start for some people. Obviously, for certain jobs, school is required, and I that college is a total waste of time, depending on what you're trying to do. But for stuff that's like, like animation industry, school is kind of a formality, and it's more to help you build a portfolio and to get connections and network and all that sort of stuff. So like, I mean, I've heard the stories before. There's people who've said that like they were beat out of jobs by high schoolers because the high schooler had a better portfolio. So I'm definitely going to be sending it out there and trying. I'm just going to wait a little bit so I can just chill a little bit, build a bit more to my portfolio, and then I'm going to try and hamper down and send it to people. I mean, there's definitely some smaller companies that would bigger companies probably not so much, because a lot of them want senior people working. But hello. Hello.
Ugh.
Hello.
Sorry.
Hello. Welcome back.
I don't know if you answered more questions since your little thing, but I wanted to say.
Yeah.
I wanted to say something. I've said it before, but I want to say it again because it's something I'm saying still, and it makes me sad. Is back in the day, and I'll say like my parents' generation, having a college degree was a guaranteed job. Back then, it didn't matter what it was. If you had a college degree, you had a job. Because I know that my parents dealt with that a lot, where they knew people who had a degree in physical education, but then was the manager of a warehouse. Like, as long as you had that piece of paper, it did mean you had a job. And so there's a lot of people now who feel like, oh, well, I have to go to school and you don't anymore because it's not a guaranteed job anymore.
Well, I mean, you certainly do for some fields, but
well, this is true. This is true. Yes, yes, yes. But what I'm saying,
I'd rather not like be operated on by a doctor without a degree.
No, I agree. I feel like doctors and lawyers, I still want to. Yeah, they know. No, you need that education. But I mean, like the general person, or like the artist, because there are a lot of people I know where I feel really bad, but like they're in art school and their art isn't that good because they expect the school to teach them how to draw when they don't really. They more show you techniques and programs and stuff like that.
They more just tell you, okay, do this, and they expect you to kind of figure it out.
Exactly, yeah. And so then you'll see a lot of people who go into art school, get into all this debt, and then leave and then be like, wait, why am I not getting hired in an industry job for like $100,000 a year? And it's like, because you didn't work on your skills. And even then, there are some people who like are really, really good artists who have those degrees and then end up not using it for something at all. Like, you know.
And I will say, when I did the portfolio review, it was, while I also got very good advice, it was a nice little bump to my ego a little bit, because I know one of the guys, he even said, like, hey, if you want to talk about getting a job, if you come back here next year and you've improved, you know, like, just like, hey, like,
hey, hit me up.
And I was like, well, good to know if I can't get a job in a year. But then you have, like, one of the girls who I think was really helpful. She actually gave me her email, which is nice. If I have more questions and stuff, which I might ask her, because one thing I didn't ask was, like, what's the difference if you want to try and get a job with games versus, like, film. But
I mean,
anyway,
I think this is just this. I don't work in that industry, so this is all speculation. But from what I've seen from video game art books and video game concept art, they like paintings, like a lot of paintings over sketches and stuff.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, I don't know, because that's the thing, is I've seen that for stuff as well.
That's true.
So I don't think it's exclusive to games, and I don't think that all games are necessarily like that. Plus, the thing is, the painting stuff is concept art. It's not character design.
Yes, that is true. That is very true.
So, character designers are, you know, whatever. But I know one of the ladies I talked to, she's like she was giving me all this advice, and then she stopped for a second. She's like, by the way, I'm not saying you're bad at all. You're extremely talented. And I'm like, oh, thanks.
Well, that's because you are a very skilled good bean, and I'm very proud of you.
Well, it's like, it gives me hope, because it makes me think that maybe if I do take the advice and I have the right stuff and I give it to the right people, that I might find something, and that'll be really fun. So,
well, the key thing is you have to also start being positive, being like, I will get this.
Yeah, and I definitely didn't want to, like, from the start, I knew that, like, you don't, because one thing that, like, what people will always warn you about is, like, especially for people who want to do, and I mean, obviously, I'm open to games and stuff, too, not just, like, film, but, like, a lot of people, they tell you, like, hey, if you're an animator, don't get the Pixar tunnel vision, because you'll be doomed.
What's the Pixar tunnel vision?
It means, like, you're like, I'm gonna work for Pixar, and that's all I'm gonna work for, and you just kind of snub over all the other opportunities you can have with smaller companies.
Oh yeah, but that's like anything, because you see that a lot too, where like.
Oh yeah. Well, that's why I'm really glad I have this, like, website I have, because it's all stuff that's in, like, Austin and things like that, and some of the bigger companies, like, there's there was one for, like, EA, actually, that was in Austin, and they were looking for, like, character artists, but they said senior character artists.
Darn.
So you know, that's probably not me.
Yeah,
but
senior usually means you've worked in the industry.
Oh,
so
yeah.
So you know how it works.
And I know there was some that, like, offered internships and things like that. And it updates, it seems, almost like every day. So, yeah, there's that. The only thing I'm always awkward about is, like, I don't know exactly what to send them. Like, right now, all I think I'm supposed to do is, like, send them an email at the email they provide, and then, like, give them, like, here's my portfolio, and like that's all I would know to send them.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no idea if that's incorrect or not. So shrugs. But I don't know. That's what I have. And then the other tricky part too is that when you're sending portfolios to certain places, you want to actually tailor your portfolio to that place, which can be a little bit difficult.
That's like any job though. Like if you're applying for somewhere.
No, I know. It's just hard when you want to like apply to like 3 different places and you need like portfolios for each. But yeah, so hopefully that'll go well.
So we got a question. On the topic of careers, I'm 14 and it feels like everyone at my school expects me to know what I want to do for my career, but I have no idea how to figure it out. So, back when I was in high school, I was just trying to fucking graduate. And then when I was done with high school, I was like, maybe I'll be a nurse. Because I actually wanted to be a nurse for a while. And then I was like, then I got my teacher's aide job. And then I was like, I want to work with kids because I'm not going to lie, working with kids made me so happy. And the parents were a whole nother story. Shameless plug. Look up my work horror stories video. But I felt so... I've never felt such fulfillment before as to when those kids left my kindergarten class. Because I knew when they came in, these kids didn't know how to read, write, or even like some colors. But when they left, they were doing like sentence structure and basic math. And I remember being like, my mind was blown. I'm not lying. Like, freaking 18-year-old me was like, I actually made a difference. Like, I helped these kids. And so I was like, I want to be a teacher. And then I learned the California public school system sucks dick. And so I was going to school, and I was going to school to be a teacher and actually be a kindergarten teacher. I didn't want to be an art teacher. And then I ended up finding this one class that was it was a required class. It was a guidance class. I forget which one. But that professor, and I feel so bad I don't remember her name, but she stood out to me so much because she was the first professor to ever tell me in my class, and I know I've told this before, but she was like, how many of you want to be here over the ones that feel like you need to be here? And she was talking about how, like, you know, you don't need a college degree for this and that. You should do what you love if it makes you happy and fulfilled, but you have to be able to take the consequences of doing that, you know? You might not be making the most expensive, you might not be making the most money in the world, but if you can support yourself and you're happy, isn't that better than being miserable and owning a mansion? Because, my friend who's a lawyer, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, I just want to be real quick.
No, that's fine.
He wanted to be a lawyer. But he knew a lot of kids in law school that he's like, they fucking hated it, they're miserable, and now they're living in these big houses, but they're never there to enjoy it because they're always working on cases. And so he's like, yeah, it's weird because I always wanted to be a lawyer, and then I see the people who just chase the money and they're not happy because they're like, well, it's a job. So... Yeah. You were saying?
Well, it's like, part of me, because this has always been this is something right now, but it's kind of like, because I just can't, I can't do it right now. Because I would love to just do, like, freelance art, and that be my job, and that just be it. Because, like, as much as I love, like, animation and as much as I love that kind of stuff, I've always felt like I work better self-employed, and, you know, like, I feel like I'm set up in a place where I could do it if I wanted to commit to it. Mm-hmm. The only unfortunate thing is just that I need health insurance. Yeah, I was saying,
because you have health issues, so
yeah, which sucks. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll get like a rich spouse one day, and everything will be fine, and I can do whatever I want.
I'll live in my rich manor with my fluffy robe and be like, "What do you mean my spouse is missing?"
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's like, even like my mom even said, like, if I were to write a book or something that really took off and like made me a bunch of money, then I could totally live that life and be fine. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of like, until I'm making enough money to where I could survive if I had to take a month where I didn't, like, I was out of commission, you know.
Yeah.
But right now I can't do that, which sucks. Which is also why, like, As much as I do love animation, it's why I'm trying to get a job as a character artist or a character designer
over actual animation.
Yeah, because as much as I love animation, and like when I went to this film fest, I won. They have like the main awards, and then they have special awards, which is for because there's like so many entries. You know?
Did you win one of the Disney ones?
I got outstanding animation.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
Which is ironic because that's not the job I'm trying to apply for.
Yeah.
But,
that was a really good animation, though.
I mean, outstanding animation in animation competition. I will take that. I will take that with a head held high. But which, for anybody wondering, if anyone subscribed to me, that's going up on Friday. Wink, wink. But the reason why I want to be like a character artist is because that's something I know I can do consistently. It's something I know I can do fast. Animation, like that animation I worked on, I started it last year, got burnt out, and I didn't finish it until this year. So like my consistency is a little bit lacking.
You mean like that the Kai animation?
Listen.
Or the animatic?
I bit off more than I could chew. It's fine.
You were the one who's like, I want to make it full color and animated bits.
It wasn't even good. It's not even fully animated. Just some parts I'm like, I want it to be animated because that's cute. I don't know.
That was a good spoiler. That is a good cry animation, though.
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably try. It's also because there's a lot I have to do over and over.
Yeah.
It's just not the same. Animating, like, people like that is just so much different than, like, animating my wolf character who's literally just a walking silhouette.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, and again, even then, like, I mean, I have made progress on it. It's just there's some parts of that animation where I look at it and I'm like, oh, you're gonna be a bitch, aren't you? Like there's a part where I have to actually draw his guitar twice from different angles, and I'm like,
oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
and I'm like, I love your guitar. I love designing it, and I think it looks really cool, but bitch, like.
And now look where we're at. Look at all the freaking musicians we have. There are so many musicians in this specific generation.
Music is a good default character choice. But anyway, I'm looking around and I'm trying to figure that out. But I'd love and just be a freelance artist. I mean, who knows if I were to like. Honestly, part of the dream is I just don't know how to get into I don't know how I would actually get to do this. But part of me would love to be able to be a director on something.
Oh God, okay, I know what you mean because I kind of have that too. Like I would love to direct something.
Yeah, and because I feel because I've learned this last year, this year in theater, that I feel like I make a better director for a lot of things. I found out that year that I'm like, I think I'm a better director than I am an actor. But so I would love to be able to direct something, but I don't know how you are supposed to go about getting that. All I could think of is that you start small with smaller films or something like that, but I just don't really have the resources to do that, and it's so that would be something where I'd have to really get, the other lady, she started as a storyboard artist, and then she was able to direct a short. Yeah. So, honestly, I mean, that would be really cool, though, if I got, a job in an industry, did that for, a year or something, and then it's hey, you want to direct something? And I'm like, hell yeah, let's go.
I mean, hey, you never know, too. Your Patreon might kick the fuck off, too, and you might... And
who knows? So, but, and it's if I could, because another thing too is that this is the endless. I would love to be able to pitch some of my story ideas to places and have them pick it up, and then if that really took off, that I could make a boatload of fucking money, but or even have a book kickoff or something.
Yeah.
But also, it then becomes this endless cycle of I have so many stories that are so near and dear to my heart. I do not want a network touching them.
Oh, I completely agree. There are so many where I'm
like especially with because I have my one that's more cartoon based and all that stuff.
The one you did the turnarounds for?
Yeah, because Naturia, that's something that I'm like, that would be a kid's cartoon on TV. Like that's what I'd imagine.
Yeah.
But like, I don't trust a lot of Cartoon Networks anymore.
They've been...
particularly Cartoon Network, but also the other ones.
I don't know. Did you hear about what happened with the fucking Invader Zim movie? Like, fucking networks are... It's going to Netflix when it's been done. Like, I remember... The only reason I'm heated about this is because, like, I know a couple of the animators on that, and they're like, it's been done for over a year, and because Nick has been dragging their feet, they couldn't put it in their fucking reels. So, like, a lot of them were like... this past year was really hard for a lot of those people because they're like, what have you been doing for the past year? I've been working on the Invader Zim movie. Oh, well, can you show us what you... No, because it's not out yet, but it's been done. And then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, it's coming to Netflix. And I'm like, I mean, cool. I'm happy that, but I don't
trust networks. I might trust like a gaming company a bit.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's also why part of me would love to be a director rather than like just someone working on a project of my own, because like I don't like, okay, because I understand having to give some of your creative control for marketing and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of my stories where it's like, I don't trust that they're going to make the right choices for it.
Especially...
Or that they're not going to change something that's pivotal to the story for like money reasons.
Yeah. Or, you know, they pull a Game of Thrones where they take something that was supposed to take 2 seasons and they split it into like 6 episodes. So it's like everything feels really rushed and it doesn't make a lot of sense. Or you end up like some shows that were really good, but then they get canceled before you can even get a conclusion. So it's like...
So like I might trust a gaming company a little bit more because I really haven't heard much if there's any companies that have like taken an idea and shat on it. But like, I mean, that's why I have hopes for like Has Been Hotel. If that does really good, that'll give me hope that maybe I can like do something on my own at some point. Like hire some people on my own and whatever, because I have an audience to reach that if I can just find the right thing. But that's why it's like, if I were to propose something to a network, it would have to be something I made off the top of my head and like something that I'm not very passionate or connected to, so that like, you know, I don't feel hurt because like they fuck something up, you know?
Yeah. Has Been Hotel is still being made. People don't seem to understand that it's a fully animated 2D musical. Like, it's not just a short. I think it's like 30 minutes. It's supposed to be like 30 minutes long. And
it's supposed to have like episodes and all that. So
yeah, because this is from what I know, because I didn't work on it. I'm not claiming I did, but a couple of my friends did, and from what they were able to tell me without breaking their NDAs, this is the pilot, and Vivs has been pitching the pilot. I don't know if it's been picked up or not, but I know that that's why they're trying to finish it. But I'm pretty sure, from what they've said, that they can legally say, is even if it doesn't get picked up, if there is enough fan want, then they can keep self-publishing it, which is why, like, their Patreon isn't Viv's Patreon. It's the Has Been Hotel Patreon that pays for the animators and all of the stuff on the show.
Yeah, and it's the same reason why, you know, I'm still working on my book. But like, whenever I get that book finished, I can't bring myself to like try and get it published from a publisher, which is stressful. No, because I'd love to do that, but I just can't, because I just know that not only is it going to be painful to try and do that, but like I just know that there's going to be so much shit that they change in it.
Oh yeah,
like especially because of what mine entails.
I mean, from what I've read, I know why, and it makes sense. But
yeah, and I feel like just because since self-publishing is something that is possible, that's the route I'm going to go. I know it's going to be hard, but like at least I do have somewhat of an audience that might be interested in it.
Yeah.
And obviously I've looked into that and I've seen places to go, and at the very least I can have like a hardcover back to mine.
Yeah.
Or something, because there's ways you can do both. It's just like a bit more, it's an extra step to the process. And there's like websites that'll sell them, like send copies out for you so you don't have to like make a bunch of copies and then sell them yourself, you know?
Yeah. The only thing you have to worry about with that, I know you've already done your research, but it's something that like I've been paranoid about because I've seen it, is you really have to see how much you would be making when you offset it like that, because there have been a lot of artists that have been screwed over because it sounds bad to say, but they didn't read everything and they didn't ask the right questions. And so when they're like, oh, well, if I have the book be $15, I'm going to make $15. It's like, no, you're probably going to make $1 because they have to pay to get the book done.
I mean, from some of the places I've seen it, it's not like that low. I think it's like a, you know, I think you get more percentage than that from some websites I've seen.
Well, no. What I'm saying is from the ones where it's like where they let you name your own price for the book, because a lot of people don't realize that they have to factor in cost of getting it made. Because a lot of people who don't know, then that's just a common misconception. Because I didn't know it for a long time, where like you hear, oh, name your price, you assume that means how much you're getting paid for it, compared to this is how much we're going to sell the book for.
Right, of course. And, like, you know, and then ebooks are also a thing, but I don't very well as an ebook. Just because ebooks generally, like, that's more popular in the field of, like, instructional things and erotica.
And my guilty pleasure books. Speaking of, I found a better one.
Oh, Lord.
It's so bad. Oh, it's great. Oh, but I've
been looking into that, and I'm like, at one point when I was looking, I'm like, oh, I'm stressed. Like, this is stressful. But I mean, because then you what you have to do is, if you aren't doing an ebook and you're actually doing actual covers, usually you have to sell them on like Amazon and stuff like that if you want it to get sold, because you can't exactly put them in stores.
Yeah, because that's why I really want, I want to do more conventions. So that's why I'm like, if I do the self-publishing route, I can get physical books I can sell at conventions of my stuff on top of having it online. So, yeah. But I mean, that's just...
Yeah. See, though, if I could ever just make... If I could just make that one book that is, like, my Harry Potter and then, like, make so much money, I can do whatever the fuck I want for the rest of my life.
See, the only problem, though, is with, like, your Harry Potter is, like, you don't want to make something, like, you make something like that.
It's just, again, it's the whole, I need health insurance.
Oh, so. I know you do, so.
Well, because also, I'll be honest, I feel like I have to say this without sounding like super snobby. I feel like I'm slightly better off than J.K. Rowling. Just a little. So I feel like I'd at least get better with my next book when I put it out, so people wouldn't care that it wasn't like
Harry Potter,
the original thing that got popular, you know?
Well, that's just it.
It shrugs.
Well, to me it seems like it's kind of like the Scott Pilgrim problem, too. It's like their first thing was a knockout, sellout success, and everything else was just kind of...
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. But that's something I'm looking into. I mean, even if it wasn't like super popular, if it was like enough for me to be able to like pay my bills for the next few years, like that'd already be a lot. And then from there I can work on making something better and whatever.
Have you ever thought about doing conventions? I know you said you wanted to try.
Well, yeah, I just can't right now.
Well, no, I know you can't right now, but you know what I mean.
I know, and I've wanted to sell, like, merch and stuff. I've just never been able to really do that. Because I've been busy with so much other shit.
Yeah.
So, like, I can't really, there's just not a lot I can make right now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, merch. Zodiac's relatable. Someone, me, I want a mansion with 12 horses. Zodiac, I just want fucking health insurance. That's when you know you're an adult. Like, no, seriously. It's like, oh, what do you want for your birthday? Clothes. Clothes are great. I love clothes.
I want to do what I want to do with my life, but I can't because my body's horrible.
But it's not your fault that you're born this way.
Why? Oh, Lord. Yeah. That's my life, how it stands right now.
Hey, Karina's ready. I still want to buy Zodi merch.
Ah.
Ugh.
I wanted so badly. Like, if I was actually, like, making merch consistently, after I saw the new Gods movie, I want to draw them and sell them. Like,
I'm so angry. I still haven't seen it yet. And I'm not, not. I know.
It's so good. It's good. And also,
Oh, yeah?
like, here's the thing. All the thing about the reviews saying, like, blah, there's not enough human drama. I was convinced that it was going to be, like, 80% monster fight and then 20% human drama. Most of the movie was still centered around the humans. Like, it wasn't like it was nonstop monster fights. It was just that there was a lot of human drama alongside of the monster fights. So, like, I don't understand what these people are talking about when they're like, yeah, there's too many monsters. Like, it's so bizarre to me, because I'm like, 90% of that movie is following the humans again.
Well, like, okay, so I'm salty because I was supposed to see it with my family today. We were going to go see it in those cool D-box seats where, like, the movie moves with you. And we were super excited about it. And then my parents called us yesterday when we were leaving the vet. And was like, yeah, we already kind of saw it. So we were like, okay, well, that kind of sucks. That's our plan. Okay, great. And then, and then all the stuff with Binks and all the stuff we have to do to the apartment. Like, once I'm done with the call, I pretty much have to, like, super deep clean my apartment again. And then I found out that Cody's working a double shift right now, and I'm like, I didn't have to stream this early. I only did because I thought he was coming home so he could help me. But now I gotta do it all on my own. I know I'm bitching, but I'm irritated. It's not his fault.
Nah, that's fine.
It's like, I want to see it, but now I'm probably not going to see it till, like, this weekend, if I'm lucky. And I kind of, like, really wanted to see it in those D-box seats, but now it's like, I don't want to go by myself because Cody definitely doesn't want to go anymore. He's like,
it was honestly, like,
yeah.
Well, it's honest to God, like, watching it was a really good balance of, like, monster fighting and actual plot, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Because, like, obviously you can't have a 2-hour movie that's just monster fighting. That gets so boring after a while.
Yeah.
So, like, it was a really good balance, and, like, the CGI was magical. Like, it was delightful. Oh, goodness. And apparently, or, well, I don't know if that's a spoiler or not.
Better safe than sorry, because all I know is that people ship Godzilla and Mothra together, and I'm okay
well, that's
with
what
this.
I was about to say, is that apparently they make a joke in there about that, because it's like, they're on friendly terms with each other or whatever. They have, like, a symbiotic relationship kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, like, one guy was, like, super, like, so are they, like a thing? And then another guy's like, symbiotic relationships between animals is very common. Like,
I mean that's always been a thing, though. Wait, why is there F?
Oh yeah, like, that's why I wasn't sure if it was, like, a spoiler or not. And I'm okay with shipping the giant lizard boy with the pretty moth lady.
I mean, me too. Like, yeah, I love though that there's this really cute fan art that somebody did, and they, like, lost their mind because I guess the director of the movie, like, retweeted it, and they were like, excuse me?
Oh.
Because it was a really cute one of... Okay. I'll wait.
I gotta say bye to my mom.
Yeah, go ahead. Go say bye to your mom. But no, pretty much... Okay, so while he's gone, I can talk about the apartment real quick. So, we have to... Because of Binks' infection, we have to, like, super deep clean our apartment all over again. Because they think that might also be why he's lethargic. Is because... Our apartment's not messy, but... It's just that, like, when we had the flea outbreak, we had to, like, spray all of this stuff, and then we cleaned it up, and then we sprayed it again, and then we're like, it's supposed to be safe for pets, is that what did it? And they're like, no, it's like, it's fine, but you're gonna want to deep clean everything all over again to fight the infection, because Binks likes to, like, he likes to lay on our towels, and he likes to lay on our clothes, and the floor, so we have to, like, literally do everything. I have to move all the furniture that we just put up. I have to sweep. I have to vacuum. I have to mop. I have to.
Are you talking about Binks?
I was talking about my apartment because I have to deep clean it today again.
Yeah.
Because the fact that he has the infection and the previous flea stuff, we have to like. Plus, my father-in-law was recently fucking over here, and like, and he brought his dog, and the dog was all around my apartment, even though I was fucking pissed about that. But yeah, the vet was like, yeah, you have to like deep clean every surface he lays on because it could just acerate. Fuck, I can't say it. It'll irritate his infection more. Like,
yeah,
they can fight the infection, but if like there's still like shit around that can get infected, he'll get infected from it. And so it's like, yay! Which is why like Cody was supposed to be home in like 2 hours, and now he's not. So I have to do it all by myself now.
Oh goodness.
I'm not happy.
Poor baby.
but I just want my boy to be happy because you know how playful he is. You'll hear him in phone calls. Yeah, the past 2 days he's just been laying around. Like he will not, and it's like made me really sad. So.
Oh baby.
Yeah. So, and he doesn't like his medication, like most cats.
Of course.
So, I have to hold his mouth open and it into his mouth.
Yeah.
Ugh. But yeah. But yeah, no, the whole Godzilla thing. My poor nephew.
Oh, no.
But yeah, my poor boy. He a sick boy.
He a good boy.
He eats, and we also have like a fuck ton of boxes I have to take down. Like, I'm like so happy I'm also taking this break because I want to talk about burnout for a second because I've never actually experienced burnout until literally all the stuff that happened. What is this? No, I'm not going for a run. That was my titty. Stop it, watch. No, I was like leaning on my hand. And my watch like was like, let's go for a run. And I'm like, no, that's my freaking titty laying on you. Stop it.
Beautiful.
I'm not naked. I should say that. But I'm just not wearing a bra. So, yeah, it's been a hard couple of weeks, realistically. I've been getting a lot of stuff done, and then like I'm just emotionally drained because I can't talk about a lot of it. Like, I could talk about it with you if I'm not streaming, you know. But yeah, it's been hard. And then, like, I feel really bad because, like, this sounds bad, but there's no nice way to say it. It's like, I had a great month last month. Everyone else around me had a terrible month.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to help my friends. But at the same time, it's been like, how have you been? I've been fine. By the way, I'm going to dump this entirely strong emotional baggage on you.
Right, well,
hope you don't mind. Too much. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I'm coming down. I can't.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm not going into details about it. But, yeah, let's see it. Oh, hey, Morgan, if you do get your job soon, you can finally get your bird.
That's true. Well, what actually might happen, though, this is, like, the deal my mom and I struck about it, is that, like, if I were to get a job that was, like an actual job and move to, like, you know, like, move to Austin or just somewhere where I can have an apartment or whatever that is for animals, I can take CJ with me.
The cat?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
My boy. Because, I mean, he's not really getting along very well with our other cat, so.
Oh, no. And you have adopted that cat. That is your baby.
I love him. Like, I wish he would come upstairs and sleep with me because he's cute. And he's adorable when he sleeps. He's just a little demon when he's not. But I love him. But yeah, but that's only if I actually get a job and move out kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Because if I'm going to school, because they allow for pets, but like I'd have a random roommate and I'd have like
it's too much. It's too much stress if you can't trust the roommate. Because I've had that happen with my friends.
Like if he was a fine like roommate or whatever, I wouldn't care. It's just like, and plus, you know, I don't at that point I wouldn't have a solid job, so that'd be a lot to take care of.
Yeah, because it's no longer just feeding yourself. It's feeding another animal and their bathroom and their medical needs and everything.
Right. So currently, you know, it's that's just kind of a thing. If I am able to get, it's just extra motivation, you know.
Yeah. I want that goddamn cat. But no, it's like,
I want the kitty.
It's like I had a friend who, they actually had to move back into their parents because of what happened. So what happened was they had their own apartment, but they needed a roommate. So they went to Craigslist and they got a roommate, but they had 2 cats. And they kept telling the roommate, like, hey, do not let my cats out.
Yeah.
You can see where this is going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I get so...
Well, the roommate, like, and my friend didn't know this, the roommate liked to fucking smoke and liked being sneaky about it. And so they would, like, open the door and, like, smoke outside the door when my friend wasn't there. But they would leave the door just open. And so my friend came home. Imagine literally coming home from work and your cats are gone. Because the cats got out.
Well, that's... Like, I get so paranoid here because, like, our older cat, he's just so mellow and so lazy. Like, he'll look outside, but he's not going to run off, you know? But, like, our little cat, he's so spastic. We're, like, every time someone just leaves the door open, I have to walk over and close it because I'm like, don't do that. I'm scared for my son. Like,
well, that's like Binks. I can't let him just sit on the porch. I would love to have him just sit on the porch because he loves the sunshine. But... Our apartment isn't a bottom floor, but it's not a top floor. So it's like just high enough that it's still a pretty bad fall, but he could jump from it. Because you know cats aren't dumb. If they're like at a high enough level, they're not gonna like try. But with Binks, it's kind of an idiot. So we can't have him
like,
be just on the...
Younger cats are always idiots. Like, that's just the rule.
Especially the males. I hate to say it. Mostly the boys... are the rambunctious, like...
We were trying to... Because the thing is, both of our cats had a phase. Because at both places when we got them originally, we had, like, the stairs, and then we'd have, like, kind of a little balcony thing where you could have slots, you know, like... it had dividers, but, like, a cat could get through there. So, like, at our original house with our original cat, I have a distinct memory of me being little and sitting there as the cat's looking over the edge, and then he almost slipped and fell, and I caught him before he fell. Like, and that's a long way down.
Oh, no.
So I caught him, and then he never, like, looked over that thing ever again. But then, like, we had CJ, who was doing that at our new house all the time, and he's a little bit more spastic. So we just keep getting nervous that, like, he's going to do that when we're not looking and he's going to fall. So for a while, we had, the stairs blocked off, and we put foil on the other side of the stairs so he wouldn't try and go up the outside. Or try to get in through the holes or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so for a while, because cats don't like tinfoil. And
you would think.
No, so we did that for a while, and for a while it worked. And then I guess apparently CJ just decided to get over his fear and find a way and burst his way through it.
No, what I mean is Binks eats tinfoil. Like,
oh, I know.
I tried that. Like, and I was like, here, you're supposed to hate it. And then he's like, no, I'm going to nom it.
Just nom nom nom. But anyway, so he's just like he's such a dumb shit, but he's also such a smart shit who learns fast. Mm-hmm. Like he's just I love him, but he's also a small tiny demon. Like, he's a small tiny shadow demon.
Does he bite?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like we know it's in the playful way. Like, he never hits that.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's hard work. Like, please bite anything else other than me. Like,
and please. Like, we'll give him toys, and he's finally stopped eating our wires. Like, that's a good thing, because he would just eat our wires.
We're starting to have that problem now too.
Really?
Yeah, he apparently one night CJ went and he almost chewed through my stepdad's Mac cord.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. But
so do you want to know how fat my cat is?
How fat is your cat?
Because he got weighed, and we were both worried. We're like, so is he like overweight? And they're like, no, he's perfect for his like his. I called it his length because he's like chunky, but my cat weighs 12 pounds exactly. Oh. Like, exactly. Even the vet was like, wow, like, not 12 pounds and something else is just 12 pounds.
Well, oh goodness, yeah, it's so funny because we've had our cat forever, and like we never really thought about like how small or big he was. Mm-hmm. He was just, he was a cat. He was kind of similar size to our dog a little bit, just a little bit smaller. But then, like, we got CJ, and now our cat feels huge. Because he's, like, CJ is so small, and you can, like, hold it. Like, now he's grown a lot, obviously, since we first got him. But, he, like, you know, you can technically, like, hold CJ with one arm or whatever. And, he's a little demon. But then he's, like, half the size of our big cat, and our big cat just now feels like huge. It's just like, oh my goodness. It's just having that direct comparison is hilarious.
Sits like a pit bull. Oh, that reminds me. Okay, so my friend, there was a question we got earlier, but I forgot about it. I'm sorry. But it was an animation question. It was like, have we seen Kit Bull? And
yeah,
yes,
I've seen it.
I like it. I think it's cute.
Yeah.
It was a sweet short.
It was cute.
Yeah. I like the style of it. I like the stylization of it. That was a nice touch.
The only thing I was having a hard time, I think, getting past was just the kitten's ball face, but it's okay.
Yeah, that was the Cody's like, he's like,
that was the only thing that was a little bit weird to me, but it was okay.
Yeah. Let's see. My dog weighs 80 pounds, and the vet was like, this is most likely muscle. I've never seen a boxer this large and this strong. Oh, well, that's good. At least he's healthy.
Power in absolute units.
Yeah. Oh my god. So, speaking of like shorts and movies, though, so I hear the new X-Men movie is trash, and I'm like, I was kind of already expecting it to be trash. If you guys don't know, I'm a huge X-Men tard. I don't know why. When I was seeing previews for it, I just had some kind of feeling that I shouldn't be excited for it. Okay, what killed me for it, and I love this actress, but it still pisses me off. Jennifer Lawrence, why the fuck did you sign up for that role if you didn't want to be in the blue suit? Like, I hate to be that person, but it looks...
I hate it too.
It looks terrible. And it gets less and less with each movie, and I'm sitting here like, in the first one, you had a reason for why you didn't have to be in it all the time. But you had the proper blue body-painted suit. And then you just slowly started making it worse. Then when I saw, like, all the promotional art and the trailers for this one, I was like, oh, this looks so bad.
Bree, that is a chunky cat.
But yeah, no, like...
Anyway.
Yeah, but I heard, I guess, because of the Fox merger with Marvel, they literally were like, we're just gonna throw everything in here, and what pisses me off is they break their own canon, and this is an issue I have with any kind of storytelling medium, is in fucking, I think it was Days of Future Past, she already had the Phoenix Force, but in this one, they're like, no, she gets it in space, like how she got in the original comic. I'm like, but she originally had it. It was either Days of Future Past or Apocalypse. I can't remember which one. Yeah, but they had her have the Phoenix Force already in her, and I'm like, what?
I just, like, I don't know. When I saw it, like, there was something about it that I'm like, just something about it. I was, like, looking at trailers, and I'm like, you know, I should be excited with all this cool, like, cinematography and all that, but for some reason I'm not.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know why. And I think sometimes I have better instincts than I give myself credit for, but, like, I don't know. I just was sitting there and watching it, and I'm like, I don't know. Something about it almost seemed like, maybe it was like it seemed almost like the drama was getting to a point where it was a little bit cheesy.
Oh, yeah, no. Then there was this, like, scene that got leaked, and the line is so cringy. Like, I watched it, because, like, I saw a lot of people, like, bitching about it, where they're like, SJW's ruining it again, and I was like, oh, no. Do I watch it? And I watched it, and there's this line, I guess, that she says, like, she and Xavier are having some kind of fight, and she says something along the lines of, like, well, the women are always saving the men around here, you should change the name to X-Women, and then leaves, and I was like, I'm like, oh, that is such a bad line. I'm not even calling it SJW, that's just a bad line. Like, that's bad
it's not a really well set up joke.
Yeah, and it's like...
Like, here's the thing, okay? Like, there's a certain line, I think, when it comes to like having that in movies, because I know a lot of movies are doing it now. Like, you know, when they did in Endgame, I don't think this is a super big spoiler. I'm going to keep it vague for anybody who hasn't seen it for some reason.
Okay, hold on. Let's just say Endgame spoilers.
It's not really a spoiler what I'm about to say though. It's just like at the end, whenever it's like, you know, a lot of like they showed off all of like the main Marvel women characters, you know?
Oh yeah.
And they like that to me was fine because it's cinematic. It doesn't like break the flow of the fight scene that's happening. It has like, it's just kind of a bit of a nod to the fact like, here's all our strong female characters, you know?
Well, actually, okay, so I looked this up. I looked this up when I got home. So I was never a big I liked mutants. Spider-Man and my muties were my shit. That's what I know a lot about. I don't know a lot about the other stuff. But I guess, because I looked that up too, because I remember being like, for me, like, it was cinematic, but it did feel a little, like, forced. But then someone's
please finish.
Oh, no. I guess there is a comic called, like, A-Force that has all of those women in it. So it was, like, a wink-wonk to that. But I'm like, I didn't know that. I'm serving a lot of people.
I don't know. Part of me though too is because sometimes I have to, you know, like here's what I think too is I think I have to sometimes really like sit back and make sure I analyze myself a little bit and make sure that when I see stuff like that, I don't have like my jaded experience come in and like ruin something that's fine, you know?
Yeah.
Because to me, like just sitting back and looking at that, there's nothing really wrong with that scene, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like they say girl power or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
It's just them saying like,
we got this.
Know, yeah. It's just like, hey, we got this. And it's just a cinematic shot of all of them together. So in a way, the only way it could be seen as being something that's forced would be if we interpret it as SJW, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So like, you know, I think that it's pretty, how that was done was pretty fair, and plus like I mean, you know, I like a lot of ladies, so you know, can't be that upset about it. But you know, so I think there's definitely some movies that do it fine, and I don't think it's inherently wrong to be like hey, we know we've been very male dominated and we're going to like, and it's just smart for a company in this age we're in right now to be doing that kind of thing. It's a profitable move if done correctly, but that, like, but having it say, the women are saving all the men around here, called X-women, that's crossing a line.
Yeah, that's bad. Like, exactly. And, like, yeah, no, I agree, Pyth. I think we should be able to see strong women without... My issue with the whole strong woman trope, and I can make a whole video about this, is how, like, there are so many strong women in media, but people don't consider them strong because they just
don't think about them.
Yeah, because they're like, wait, what do you mean that, like, okay, so this is a weird example, okay, but I recently felt nostalgic and I wanted to watch one of the old Barbie movies. Yes, I grew up on the original.
Listen,
yeah,
Princess and the Pauper.
That's what I was talking about. And I was like, you know, I randomly feel like watching this, and it was like $2 to rent on Amazon. So I said, $2? Fuck it, I'll watch it. And I rewatched it, and I remember being like, wait a minute, she followed her dream. She didn't just marry the prince. At the end of it, she goes, does her job, and like they even say, like, you know, sometimes being like brave or something isn't saying it was I forget what the exact wording was, but it's something along the lines of like, you get the choice. She got the choice to go, you know, live her dream, be a musician, sing in all these shows, and then she wanted to come back and be with the prince and actually like try things out instead of like marrying the prince outright and just living in his castle.
Yeah, and it's like there's a lot of like, I mean, just to be honest, there's a lot of more obscure stories that do that, but everyone wants the popular shit to have like strong female characters. That's what we want. It's just like, how about all these other things you could be supporting that's already done it for you?
Yeah, that exists.
Again, when I went back and I watched 9, 9 has a very strong independent female character in it.
Yeah, and it's not in your face. She's a strong character that happens to be female.
Yeah, they don't which also makes sense because they are ragdolls. They have no concept of gender or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to be in your face, And again, there's a bunch of there's other movies that do that shit that have been doing that shit for years or whatever. Yeah. But nobody ever talks about them, and they act like because Marvel has a lot of male characters, that's the thing that needs to change.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And
forget telling a good story with male characters. We need to shoehorn in a bunch of characters that don't need the spotlight. Mm-hmm. Which not to say that there aren't female characters in Marvel that deserve the spotlight. I'm just saying we need to, and again, obviously Marvel isn't doing that with all of their movies, of course. I think most people at Marvel still at the end of the day are trying to tell a good story.
Oh yeah.
But again, the original Alien movies.
Well, that's another thing is and it sounds weird, but growing up as a horror fan, I grew up with a lot of strong, independent female leads, and they were never in your face. If you think about it, a lot of horror movies have female leads that, and I remember being this sounds so dumb that I have to say this, but I have to say it. It's wow, the women are people!
Wow.
This is a genuine reaction. I'm not counting, babysitter features, if people know what I'm talking about. But perfect example, Laurie from the Halloween series, Ripley from the Alien series, fucking Nancy from Friday on Elm Street, Jesus Christ, Nightmare on Elm Street. But there are so many there that they're there, and hell, The Descent. The Descent is a great movie. It's very dark though. Figuratively, and
also, even then, it's the people who made those choices, it was a smarter choice because, to have that too is that typically, this isn't a fact. It's just this is a typical general psychological thing. Typically, we tend to sympathize and connect with female characters more and be have more fear for the intense situation going on. Because, not because we think they're weaker or something, it's just typically, you connect with a more, likable character, and there's a lot of, to have a male character who seems to have, a ripped male character being chased around, you don't feel that intensity as much.
Yeah.
So, and it's smart, and so we've had that stuff for years, and, obviously there was, eras where we didn't, obviously, and things are changing, and I think that's very clear.
Yeah, I just my issue is another thing too is they're making it now I'm not an overly feminine girly person, but for the ones that are very strong women who happen to be feminine, they're well, you can't do that. It's you're not allowed to like those things if you're a strong independent woman. We're gonna show that you're strong and independent by showing you actually punch somebody. And you can't like pink. You can't like pink. You can't. I don't like pink, but you know what I mean. It's
need to be able to punch someone to be a strong female character. You just don't.
Yeah,
you don't need to do that to be a strong character in general.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, what movie was it that I'm trying to think of? Because I'm trying to think of some. I honestly probably would only be able to think of recent movies right now, just because
it's in your brain, it's fresh,
right? Well, because I watch a lot of movies and all that stuff, but strong women could also like someone. Yeah, it's not a weak thing to get in a relationship.
Yeah, it's only an issue when I will admit that is something I wish I would see, where we have platonic male and female friendships.
That is something that I wish we would see a lot more, yeah.
That was something because I used to love Law and Order SVU. I haven't caught up because I don't have... Yeah?
Okay, can I give you Endgame?
Yes, go ahead.
No one... I swear, everyone's talking about the death at the end of the movie, but no one is talking about that Black Widow died?
I know! And now she gets her own movie, and I'm wait, you give her a movie now that she's dead? What the fuck?
Well, I'm excited for it. I'm ready to see her have her own movie.
I am too, but I'm salty that it took this long.
Listen, honestly, it might be better because it took so long. That's something I always try to give the benefit of the doubt for,
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes waiting is actually a better choice than doing it right now. But, like her death, like, and her thing with like Hawkeye, they weren't in a romantic relationship. They were best friends.
Yeah, and she was like, if anything, they were like siblings because like she was his kid's godmom, wasn't she? Like,
yeah. Well, it's like I remember because I watched when we were on our trip. Age of Ultron came on, so we watched that while we were going to sleep. And there was a whole thing when his wife was pregnant with their third kid. And she's just like, how's like little Natasha doing it? It's like, it's Nathaniel, and she just like squints down. It's like, you little traitor. Like,
oh yeah, I remember. Like, it's and they have a great friendship, and that's why their sacrifice hurts so much.
I know, and it makes me so sad because it was like, I will say that entire scene was so beautifully written.
Oh, it was. I loved it because it really they were fighting to kill each other so they could kill themselves.
Yeah, and like oh my goodness, because also the tension in it was so interesting because you weren't actually sure who was going to end up being dead.
Oh, you had no idea.
Is it going to be the one who wants to die because like, hey, you're going to have a back to? Is it going to be the one who's like, you haven't even started your own family yet, or like, I'm so jaded, I have nothing to live for now, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, it was such well done tension, and it was so sad and intense, and it was like, it was so good.
Okay, and what's so fun, and what's so funny too is like, it made so much sense for her character arc to be the one to be sacrificed because like that was her family. Like they even say it, you know, like that's all she had. This is all she had was them, and she was willing to give up everything to protect them.
I know, it was just it was so good, and yet no one talks about that. Everyone just argues about the other death that happened, and it's just anyway. Oh goodness. But yeah, so that's it. Anyway, the point is that like, you don't have to have a strong female character punch someone to prove that they're a strong female character.
Mm-hmm.
They can just be emotionally strong, or they can be able to make decisions on their own.
Yeah. And somebody asked before where they were like, what about 11 from Stranger Things? And I can't say yes or no on that because her character arc isn't done yet. And she is she still very much is an abused kid. We saw it from the last season. So she is still growing, but I do believe she can be a strong female character. But right now her arc isn't done.
Yeah, and like, and I'm gonna be totally honest here too. It's not also inherently a bad thing to have a character who's not strong or who like, you know, isn't a perfect person.
Oh yeah. I love me some great morally gray characters. Like,
oh yes. Well, like, because sorry, did I?
What?
You can finish if you want.
No, go ahead. I didn't say anything.
Oh, well, it's like something because I have like obviously in a lot of my stories, I typically like.
Shit! Hold on. I have to restart the call. Give me a second. Sorry about that. Oh, you were cutting out for a second.
Oh, sorry. But like, what was I saying? Oh, oh yeah, because I obviously have a lot of stories where I have like, I typically try to balance it between male and female characters. Some of them lean more heavily one way, you know? Like, I mean, like my cartoony one, the three main characters are all female, and the main antagonist, Cough Cough, is also female. But, you know, that's just how I always pictured them, and that's just how it worked out, shrugs. But, like, I mean, a big thing in, like, because now I'm reworking Firebird, so that's now on my mind, you know? Because a big part of that is the fact that, you know, main two characters are, in fact, female. That's always just been a thing. But part of the story is the fact that one of them cannot help herself to save her flipping life. Like, she's absolutely helpless, and that's part of her character development to figure that out a little bit. So it's like, I don't think... And also, it's fine to have a character sometimes who maybe can't defend themselves, and maybe even has, like, some character development getting over that, because some people in real life can't always, like, can't always shoot a gun at somebody and protect themselves or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I don't know, people are starting to have such I guess people always kind of have, but people sometimes have such an extreme black and white mentality of this is what a character should be, period, because people aren't diverse. There aren't different contexts for different situations. What do you mean?
Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I also love when, for me, my villains, because I have some villains that are villains. They're not morally gray, but I like to have their evilness have, a reason. Granted, there have been a couple of times in Crackland where I'm I'm just not going to for you. You're just going to be a creep.
Sometimes we do just want evil characters for the sake of evil.
Exactly. But, I have, in the current stupid roleplay we have right now, that Morgan and I are doing, I made a Fairy King guy that very much is an evil character, but he's very much more along the lines of a neutral evil character, or chaotic neutral. That's a better thing for his alignment. Yeah, because it's I don't care. I'm gonna do. Me and my people are done waiting.
Oh god, because now I'm remembering this because this is also something me and my mom watched this on the plane on the way home. We watched the Ocean's 8 movie that came out recently, which listen, people can say what they want about certain movies getting a sequel or something that's with a female cast or whatever.
But isn't it technically a sequel because there's a girl in it from the other movies?
I think so. Well, I think it was supposed to be, again, don't quote me on this because I don't remember very well, but I think it's supposed to be one of the characters' sisters that's doing this, and her whole reason for having an all-female team is actually makes sense. It's because people will suspect a man, they won't suspect a bunch of women doing it. And I'm that does make sense. But people could say whatever they want, but I liked that movie a lot, and I think it's a very clever movie, and I like those things that have the plots where it's, everything comes together at the end or whatever. And it had some really strong individual characters and all that stuff. I liked that the quote-unquote dumb actress wasn't actually dumb by the end of it. But and I remember in there's a joke, and I think it's absolutely hilarious because it's kind of making fun of the fact that it's a movie being remade with women to be kind of a little bit female empowerment kind of thing. And it's that whole part where she's doing her makeup and she says, "All right, girls, listen, somewhere out there, we're not doing this for me. You're not doing this for you. Somewhere out there's an 8-year-old girl who dreams of being a criminal. Let's do this for her." And it's
that's great. Funny. That's great. That's actually really good.
Yeah, and it's kind of making fun of itself to where it's yeah, we are showing that these are independent women who make their own decisions, but it's not they're doing good things. They're stealing jewels and all that stuff. And technically in the movie they were manipulating women to do it. So but I don't know. I think that movie was pretty dang well written, and I thought that movie was fun. And you know what? Listen, people can say whatever they want about the female Ghostbusters, but I refuse to have anyone tell me that Chris Hemsworth playing the dumb blonde secretary was not the funniest shit in the world.
It was hilarious. Honestly, I feel if that movie didn't happen, they would not have realized how funny Chris Hemsworth is, and we wouldn't have gotten Sassy Thor. Because if you think about it,
well, no, hang on. No, the Avengers movies, he was funny in Avengers before that movie.
Was he? I mean, I know he wasn't super stoic, but he wasn't as funny as he is now.
The new Ghostbusters one came out much more recent than a lot.
Didn't it come out in 2016 or something?
Yeah, but Thor's had funny movies before.
Am I just spacing? It has been a long time since I've seen a Thor movie.
Hang on.
I might be spacing. Hold on. I mean,
because even in the original Thor movie, I mean, he was dramatic, but it had jokes and shit in it.
Oh, I know. I will agree with that. I still think to this day the whole his friend showing up at the coffee shop is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Well, okay, here's the thing. The original Thor was 2011. Thor: The Dark World was 2013. So I think people realized that Chris Hemsworth could be funny before that.
Okay, you're right.
You're right. That's why he got picked for the movie.
You're very right. I take back what I said.
Yeah. But I just I don't know, that shit was hilarious to me.
Yeah, out of the Avengers, Thor has had to become my favorite. Like, he wasn't originally. I wasn't really on a team with anybody. I was like, I like them all. But then I really like Thor. I like his character development. I like what they did with him because nobody saw that coming without giving it away.
Yeah, I'm gonna be because it's hard for me to pick a favorite because I like all the characters and I like how they're written and most of them are handled. Although I will say a lot of people shit on Captain America a lot for some reason, and I'm like,
yeah, a lot of people shit on him, and I don't get it either.
He's not a bad character at all. Oh goodness. And I guess some of them just point out there's some little character thing, and you know what it is? It's always when he says something that people don't want him to say to Tony Stark. Yeah, that's when they try and make him the bad guy.
Yeah,
and I'm like, y'all, you realize they're supposed to be foil characters who are both neither are worse than the other. That's America's ass.
That's yep. He got a booty. He got a booty. I've seen
America got that booty. It do.
Yeah. Also, I know a lot of people were kind of pissed off at the spoilers for the end of Avengers. Just doing it right now. A lot of people were pissed off that because in the comics, he passes the shield on to Bucky first, and I'm like, that makes sense in the comics, but Bucky hasn't really gotten to do much of his growing arc. In the movies. Plus, so
even in the movies, from what we've been demonstrated in the movies, Bucky's not as much of a fighter in the movies. Not that he can't fight, but that he just doesn't really like to.
Yeah.
It was implied that for years he just chilled in Wakanda as a farmer, and whenever they came over, he's like, great, doing this again.
Yeah, it's and they even showed he lives in a hut. Let Bucky go back to his hut and just chill.
Let him be a peaceful Wakandan farmer.
Yeah. It makes so much more sense thematically and with the story they're going because he's also a soldier. Freaking Falcon is also a soldier. So it makes more sense that he would be the new Captain America.
Yeah, just listen, the Avengers movies, from as far as I can tell, make pretty good choices. Because when you do stuff like this, you have to change some of the things from the comic.
Oh yeah, and the actors are getting older. You can't say that they're not. There's certain things they just can't do anymore.
Well, a lot of this too has been planned for a very long time. Mm-hmm. There's again, whenever Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans signed their contracts, it was for about 10 years.
Yeah.
Which is about how long they've been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So, which doesn't mean it can't change, but that just shows that there was some premeditation here. And that they kind of had this plan for a while of what kind of which you'd have to do for a good cinematic universe.
Yeah.
So, it's just... also, again, this is along the lines of trying to make Captain America a bad guy. Mm-hmm. I remember seeing a bunch of posts that were remember that whenever Peggy said in the future that she married a nice guy and had 3 kids, and now Captain America's going back and stealing that from her, and everyone else who understands how the time travel thing was explained was that's him, right?
Yeah.
That's implying that was foreshadowing.
Oh my god, okay, on that
was him.
That's pissed me off so much because so many people were actually, since he was back then, he could have warned them about the fight in New York.
But and that's that's not how time travel works in this world.
Yeah, they've openly said that. Plus, it's the whole point of it was he was done. He's done doing the fighting.
Yeah, and he knows that for him to get, technically, if we're even going to go with, typical, traditional time travel logic, if he had done that, he wouldn't have ever been able to go back in time in the first place.
Yeah.
So, but like also, there were people, oh goodness. This is hard because time travel is just such a hard thing to wrap your head around. Like, some people get it and then some people don't, and I don't blame people for not getting it.
Well, it's why
some people are like, wait, so if he went back in time, does that mean he never broke through the ice? And it's like, no. It means there's 2 Captain Americas now.
That's why, like, time travel in movies, in a serious sense, never ends well. They don't end well because, like...
Yeah, well, I think Ed Gabe did it really well.
No, I think they did it great.
Like, I think their interpretation of having it be like, the reason why you don't change the future by going into the past is because to get back to your future, you basically go backwards again.
Yeah, you're making a new
it's really
timeline.
Creepy to think about, but I'm like, you know what? That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good way not to avoid like paradoxes and all that sort of stuff. And plus, like, that also means multiverse theory does exist. Yeah, but. Like, it just was so...
Well, they also...
Was like, wait, well, also, it just blows my mind that people are like, so, if Captain America went back in time, does that mean he doesn't come out of the ice and that he doesn't exist anymore? And I'm like, you realize, in the movie, he fought himself.
Literally. That
is the narrative's way of telling you that 2 Caps can exist at the same time. And so that his actual story is unaffected by him traveling into the past.
Yeah, he literally beat the shit out of himself.
Exactly. And then complimented his own ass as he left.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. That was something that I kept seeing, and I was just like, how do you explain to people that that's, like, literally not how the time travel works in the movie?
Mm-hmm. Also, I feel like it's glossed over by a lot of people. But the scene that was really heart-wrenching for me was when Ant-Man comes home and he sees his daughter's a teenager. Like, no one talks about that. And, like, you see the look on her face, and you can, like, see it on his, and it's like, and he doesn't get that time back. Like,
I know, and that's what's really tragic, and I actually do like that as not a perfect ending.
Yeah.
Because, like, and... Oh, that hurt. I love Ant-Man as a character so much.
I know. But that hurt me so much. Like, when that scene happened, I was like... At first, I thought she was gone. And then it's
I thought it was gonna... Well, because that's what he was panicking about. He thought that she was dead, and then he's like, wait a second, why is my name?
Yeah, and then you just see this random teenager show up, and you're like, oh,
It's been 5 years.
Yeah, and it's like, oh... Man, Michi, I'm crying. Well, no one was talking. Everyone was talking about everything else, and I'm like, no one talks about it. And
everyone's talking about Iron Man, Captain America. No one's talking about Ant-Man and Black Widow. Sad.
Yeah, and like, also how much like I love Dr. Hulk like so much.
I love him too. Okay, I'll say this. It was really jarring at first, but I got used to it.
Yeah, I wasn't used to like the mocap. It kind of freaked me out, but I don't know.
Well, I also really because it's supposed to be shock humor at first.
Yeah,
that's why they introduce it how they do. Where like even Ant-Man's just staring like, "What the fuck did I miss?" Like,
yeah.
So like, but then after a while, I love it, and you know what? It perfect sense for Bruce Banner as a character, because like, let's be real, if any character didn't really have a very deep story and character development to go through, it was Bruce Banner.
Yeah,
because a lot of his is kind of like very obvious, and there's like other important things to talk about, and like you kind of got the point of what he was fighting with. And also like he's also like a funny character as well, you know.
Oh, yeah.
The way a lot of his stuff was put was kind of, like, used a little bit as being humorous, and I don't think it was wrong for doing that.
Oh, yeah,
so, like, his thing made sense.
Uh-huh.
Like, the whole, the whole secret being that he had to become, like, one with the Hulk side and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, but it's also funny because that means he can't Hulk out like he did before.
Well, yeah, and I like that they showed it. They didn't tell it. That's, like... As I get older and older, it's like my biggest pet peeve in any kind of storytelling is oh my god, so you're the super cool, amazing badass that everybody knows, and like you've done all this really neat stuff, but we never see it. It's just told to us. It's like
it's like I love the part when they traveled back and it's like, okay, rah, it's like smash.
Yeah.
It's just really funny. It's just like it was fun. Also, just Mark Ruffalo as a person
he's so funny. He's so funny.
Whenever you see him in pictures or in videos with like other celebrities, he looks like the random fan that's met his rather than like an actual celebrity himself.
Yeah, he's just
I love Mark Ruffalo. He's a beautiful man.
He is pure being.
A good being.
Also, I don't know, I love the awkward humor. Like, he's so funny for being awkward. And it's so natural.
Well, it's just really done well because, like, you know, his humor, I think the thing with awkward humor is playing it like it's awkward humor, you know? Because sometimes when they do awkward humor, they play it like it's like, ta-da, it's a joke, now laugh. But just when they played it like, see, look, it's a bad joke, you'll laugh because it's bad, or we'll just move on to something else, you know? And I love all the memes that are like, I see this is an absolute win.
Yeah, I love those. Or just the tacos, like just like poor Ant-Man and his fucking tacos, like.
I know, and it just like, I don't know why, I just scene was played,
but it
like,
was also
Hulk was this like guardian angel giving him new tacos.
Yeah, it was just like it's or the whole like, I know, right? I wear shirts now. It's like, what the fuck?
I love it so much. It was just because like they knew how jarring it was.
Well, yeah,
so, like, it's like... that's why they made the joke. It's like, I know, I wear shirts. Ain't that crazy? Like, it just was really funny. And I love it so much. Oh goodness, we've been talking too much about Endgame.
But it's my fifis.
I know.
Oh Lord. Also, okay, there was a question we got a little earlier back. We were talking about Endgame, and someone's like, "You guys should just make a podcast together." Honestly, maybe we just should. Like at this point,
I'd be down for a podcast. Honestly,
I would too. We'd have to make like. I feel like we'd have to either like bounce off of each other's channels or like just make a new one.
Yeah, honestly, I mean that would be a interesting thing, and we just have to make sure they were more coherent.
Oh yeah, no, it couldn't be live streams. Like it had to be like we'd have to like write notes down or something and be like,
yeah, we'd have to like actually pick a topic and like sit down and talk. Because I honestly I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, so like I have no see. That's the weird thing about me. I often come up with good ideas because I just don't know how it actually works. But, you know.
Well, like, okay, the whole point about, like, there's... So I like podcasts, and there's different types of podcasts for different things. I feel like yours and mine would just be a generalized one, because we have... we both like movies, we like video games, we're both very opinionated. We also like tropes, storytelling, writing, art, so it's like... Usually, like, there'll be, like, podcasts where it's, like, just movies, or just video games, or just pulp sculpture stuff, so I feel like... It would be just, like, a very generalized, like, thing. And maybe we could have, like, people vote on topics or something.
Yeah, that would probably be pretty fun. So, I mean, yeah, I'd totally be down for a podcast.
I would, too. And then we can work more on your Zodisona thing for it.
That's true. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness, yeah. So that would be fun, though.
Jesus.
If we could just figure out a name for it that's like catchy.
I know.
I will say I do like some podcasts. Some podcasts are funny.
Let's see. Yeah, that would be tough. I don't know. We'd have to like do it off screen or something, or we just like think of names.
Yeah, just brainstorm. Yeah, just talk about bullshit.
Have to cut out all the crackling shit if it just slips in there.
Oh goodness. Or like yeah, it would be man, that'd be so much to edit. I hate editing.
At least the good thing with podcasts though is it's like there's no image, you just need to throw a static image on the screen and just go through the audio.
That's true.
So that's not so bad.
That's true. I did recently thing about art video.
What's the Can you share the topic with the class?
Well, it's about art.
I mean, I kind of guessed.
I don't know. It was just me talking about both the two sides. Like, there's just two different extremes that I've seen that I think are both, like, kind of damaging. And it's, like, the one extreme where it's, like, where people are like, there are rules. Like, this is how you do art. And that's it. Like, there's no other way to do art. You know, like, those kind of people. Which, obviously, there are some things that are, like, generally accepted facts that most people can agree with. But, like, you know, the people who are like, you can't do that with a character because it's cliche. You know, those kind of people. And then the other extreme where it's like, you can't say you don't like an art style because then you're like disrespecting the people who do it.
Oh,
you know,
don't get me started.
Well, it's like it's the videos about both of those extremes.
Yeah.
And whatever. And I actually was able to somehow. Okay, this is actually kind of funny because I was editing it like either yesterday or the day before, ? But, and when I was editing it, I'm like, okay, I need footage. And I'm like, I really have any footage on hand. So I'm like, okay, well, I have these live streams that I did.
God damn it, Cody!
Oh, no, what?
I'm so sorry. He just texted me a terrible fucking pun, and I hate it.
Oh, God. What is it?
Why is it called boob sweat and not humidities? I fucking hate it. I'm sorry. My husband you would fucking laugh at that. My husband makes the worst fucking puns. And I hate it. I hate it so.
Hang on. Do podcasts after you finish doing the crackling and go through. Goodness.
Jesus. Oh my God. I kind of like went through that recently. No, I went through that recently and like we ended like when Dimitri and Gabe were still kids.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh Jesus.
So much.
And then now we're stuck where we're dealing with medieval politics right now. So it's like,
oh yes. Well, it's like now we're gonna have a bunch of stupid like teenagers being teenagers shit to get through. And all that shit. And maybe a certain someone can actually start doing evil things now.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm like thinking
wink, wink.
I know, I'm like, she can do her research now and start fucking with things.
Yeah, and start fucking with her brother. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh God. And then we have a bunch of little tiny shit kids who can run around and do tiny shit kid things.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Like the really close mermaid sisters.
I love them. They're like two drastically different sides to a coin.
Yeah, they're literally sun and moon, like to a T.
Anyway,
there's sorry.
But yeah, so I was like trying to get art footage. I'm like, well, I do have these live streams. Can I download this and like whatever? But I didn't have like the automatic download button. So I'm like, how am I gonna do this? So and I'm like, this live stream is like an hour something long, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to download this. But I pulled up a YouTube video converter and I downloaded it. Took about 2 seconds and it downloaded with very decent quality, and I was able to just put it in my editor, crop it down, and boom, there it was. And how is that feels so creepy that it was so easy, because it was like you know, uploading a 2-hour video takes ages, but apparently downloading it on that video converter I used took like not even like half a second.
Jesus Christ.
And I was so like confused and mildly concerned, and it was like, and it wasn't like it downloaded in shit quality, it was good quality video. And I'm like, well, that's interesting.
Also, someone just commented and started fucking with her brother. Is this Game of Thrones? And I'm like, no,
not actually fucking.
Yeah, no, ew, no. That is a line. Even for like story's sake, I can't cross. I cannot cross that threshold. Nope.
No. I mean like as in
like messing with him,
like making him anxious and whatever. So
yeah, and she's mildly homophobic. So
yep. It's great.
But yeah. Well, it's great for a storytelling sense.
Oh, not
like, yeah, homophobia.
It's not great for Vism.
No, poor baby. The poor little creamsicle.
He's doing his best.
Oh God. I do have We can do that now that I think about it, because she's gonna be fucking with shit now.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like, honestly, if I probably went through, figure out like a bunch of things that we have to do.
Oh yeah. Well, we got baby.
Yeah, we got baby who eventually needs a name.
Yeah, we got baby who needs
Poor
a name.
Franny is gonna have to like. It's so stressed.
Is it bad that I feel like she's still kind of like not gone back to? Oh, I can't say her name. The girl that likes her. So it'll be one of those like really awkward, like, well, hi.
Oh, I'm sure she has. I'm sure she's been like intentionally.
Oh yeah. Like, why can't we go to the west, Mom? Just. What's wrong with here? Hello?
Oh, hi.
Oh, did I cut out?
No, I was listening. I was reading on my phone.
Oh, okay. But it's like, why you want to go there? Well, I don't know, something different. Well, we're not going there.
She's like, no, it's fine, baby. Don't worry about it.
No, it's fine, baby. We'll fight demons here. Yeah. Demons, and I'm sure fairies are like fucking up with people's shit now too, just like out in general. So.
And then I also realized that like, oh yeah, Crescent's in the background, but I'm like, Zoella's not close to dying anytime soon. So I'm like,
well, that's just it. I'm sitting here. I'm like, who else is gonna die? Because people have had like, I feel, ooh, I don't know if I can say this. So I'm gonna type it out, but like.
Oh, goodness. See, that's what I'm looking at, because the oldest character I have on my list, I don't have some of your characters on.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the oldest character I have right now is ironically...
Is who?
Is Pride.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because... Physically, Zoella's the oldest. But,
yeah. But reasons.
But, cough, cough. But also, it's like, they probably still got a while to go, because while they chronologically are certain ages, physically they aren't.
Well, the problem, too, is, like, yeah, exactly, is it's like with oh.
What?
Realistically, I think Heather's gonna go soon.
Quite.
Just naturally, because she's already got kind of weird
she's
genetic.
An alcoholic.
She's an alcoholic, and she's got a lot of other issues, and like for plot reasons that can make a lot of sense now too. Because then we can have Milla be like, "So can I rule now?" Like, I feel like she would not she wouldn't let the dirt like grow over either. It'd be like she dies, has the funeral, and then be like, so I can this is mine now, right? Like,
oh, of course. And she's like 13.
Yeah,
so
and then like they would try to argue like, no, and it's like, well, Dad was only 2 years older than me.
Just like, I can do it. It's like, no, it's like, child. Oh God, it's just like, you already arranged your own marriage. We're not doing.
Yeah, you already arranged our own marriage with the sketchy cow kingdom. That's like that's like. Did we decide if it was like a drug front or they're supposed to be like evil, right? Like it was supposed to be something. Like the cows aren't actually cows; it's something else.
I don't even know. I just remember that's always been an inside joke. Yeah.
So let's see. There's
We have but yeah, Crescent, and because I have something for them in the background, because like, I know that Crescent's gonna have issues in the future with like, I need to have a kid, but I can't do that. And then like, we have the angels lurking around, so I'm sure.
You know what I was realizing too with the angel stuff? So, like I said, aesthetically, so I don't want to say it, so I don't want to give away, but one of the angels will fit really, really well with the South, and then it's like, well, we got that jealous guy that just got born. So what if he was like their new royal doctor? Because he's a doctor, right? Or am I getting him mixed up?
Oh, he's like, he puts on that front, yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
but like, I was just thinking about like, because I mean, especially, we have had Corvus be a thing, so we've proven the foreshadowing that an angel could do this for Crescent and be like, oh, you need a kid, do you?
Yeah, yeah, we can just make a kid. It's not going to be a normal kid, but...
Oh, no, of course not.
Because, oh, Corvus, you special little baby.
Oh, Corvus. I can't wait for Corvus to do things.
I know. Because now we're in that, like, fun phase where it's like...
Yeah, where they're all just a bunch of innocent children.
Yeah. It's just
and
cocaine
cows.
And then freaking, what was it? Oh, my brain. Where was I going with this? I was going with this somewhere. I mean, we have the whole Tessa issue, because now she's got to, like, learn how to love again.
Right. And then, like, we also did make jokes about, like, if Marcy and Rowan had kids.
Yeah. I did have an idea for something that we could technically do now.
Oh, boy.
But it's a bit more of a serious one, so I don't know if we want to have some fun first.
Well, maybe we'll have some fun and, like, bounce around just to establish.
Because I was thinking, I'm like, realistically, and I've been putting it up.
Artemis are flipping 17. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, they now can legally, like, work in the circus, and Matt can't say anything. Like,
shit.
They're like, we don't gotta age ourselves up anymore. We're legal.
Done.
My world. Okay, I guess I should explain this. My world's version of legal is like 15 for this because. Yeah. It's
Ezekiel and Estrella are adults too.
Yeah,
I remember we had jokes that they were going to be like absolute hoes.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's right. We can shoot. I'm sorry, chat. We're just going out.
Sorry about that, guys.
But because I remember that we were waiting for Apollo and Artemis to actually be older because we need to start doing the stupid jokes about them and the other Marcy, where it's like, where she's just like, hey, I want to sleep with you, and they're just. Bye!
They're like, nah, we're good.
And then so we have Ezekiel and Estrella now, who can actually maybe be involved somewhere. I don't know where.
Well, because that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, because it's the tower mentality all over again. It's like, we couldn't do much with them because they were being protected somewhere else.
I know. Now, also, I just, it just dawned on me that Oliver and Em have just been living together for like 6 years.
Yeah, no, I was thinking, I feel like, because they always had an awkward relationship, it was just one of those, like, I feel like, and this sounds bad, but I feel like neither of them have really, like, said anything, but, like, it's there, because it's just, like, really awkward circumstance.
Yep, and then Ambrose is just running around thinking it's not a...
Yeah, because Ambrose is just Ambrose, and then we have, and, like, I have to think of, like, a way, because, like, I feel bad, because, like, and then we have D, but I'm like, I don't really have a plot for you, you're very much a side character.
I know, unfortunately, D's just kind of in the background right now.
I know, and it's like, and I'm like, I had to shoot myself in the foot, because Cassie wanted to have a big family, and then years ago, Dimitri's like, yeah, you're gonna have 8 kids, and I'm like, shit, she's gotta have more gremlins running around now, like... But, like, I literally have no use for them. They're just gotta be gremlins.
Well, I mean, technically he did say that was one plot line.
That is true.
We'll leave it in the background as, like, hey, if we random character here.
So far, we've been good, though. We have one Neko. Running around.
We have one. Who's now also the same age as Baby somewhere.
Yeah.
It was funny because I totally forgot that I made a name for down with an age. So when I was updating the ages, I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Wait, who?
And I was like, oh, I wrote a name for her. I called her
okay.
Camila is what I called her.
Aw, that's cute.
Camilla, whatever it is. It's with an E at the end. But like, because I was like, I just basically looked up French names and I'm like, well, it has to start with a K.
Yeah.
The trend. So I have that. And then we got, like, Demetriel and Karen can start having things happen.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, poor Demetriel.
Quite.
Now she gets to have the weird, awkward fifis that both her dads had. Because she's made of both of them, so now she's gonna be like...
Only now it's problematic.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Stephanie's 16.
And
Sage Young is 13 now.
Yeah, so that's what we can do. He can awaken. We can do that.
Dun, dun, dun.
We've been waiting for that moment, so that's something that's going to happen very soon. Because you know what's funny is, like, that's also going to be a big thing, because if you think about it, the other world hasn't really been able to prepare for that. Because, like, Adrian kind of zoomed in and saved Franny's farm at the, like, last second. So they weren't really there for that. Adeti was in the other world. So this is going to be one of...
in my world, though.
But Gabe stopped it, remember?
That's true.
Gabe did his Gabe stuff. Okay, we're going on right now, so I think we should just end the live stream because people are not going to have any idea what we're talking about.
That's fair enough.
I'm sorry, guys. Thank you all for coming. I hope you had a great time. And as always, I will see you next time. Bye.